This is a sport for no wimps, no sissies allowed, certainly. And two of the toughest drivers anywhere are also in our field today. Dr. Dick Berggren has ambled down the line to chat with maybe the toughest guy the Busch Grand National Series has seen in a long time. Dick?
He could well be. Robert Presley gives no quarter. He runs this thing really, really hard. He sure isn't afraid of the speeds here at Charlotte, but he's starting 20th. How about it? Can you muscle this thing to the front?
Well, we've got a lot of the Winston Cup drivers here, and I tell you, they're all tough, every one of them. But, you know, we got this J&J Chevrolet. We're going to get tough with them today.
And Randy Pemberton's with one of the Winston Cup tough guys.
I didn't have to move far. Believe it or not, Dale Earnhardt right next to Ernie Irvan. He's also a threat for the Winston Cup Championship once again. He's six-time Winston Cup champion. Let me find out from him. Dale, you talked to Ernie at all? You guys soloing it, or are you going to hook up and go together to the front?
Well, right, I think at the start it's going to be every man for himself, but we did race off a good yesterday, him and Trader and I, so maybe we can hook up and draft by some of these cars, but there's some awful good race cars right here. Just like to shake them out and see what happens, try to stay out of trouble. One of them waiting games. Good luck.
Dale Earnhardt, Ernie Irvan starting back together in row 17, and they really had a tough road to get here. As we saw, the 32 cars who qualified through time the rest of the field coming out of the consolation event yesterday. We have some video we're going to show you from yesterday's event. We'll show you that a little bit later on. Right now, the pole sitter is standing by with Dr. Dick Berggren.
And the pole sitter is a real surprise. At only his second ever Busch start here at Charlotte, his fourth ever Busch start, Mike Skinner put in a tremendous lap and won the pole. But these guys behind you all have much more experience than you do. How will you run the first lap?
We're going to run the first lap pretty hard, and we'll just have to see what happens. We don't want to create no problems behind us. Going to run 1 or 2 laps, and then we're going to try to get back in line somewhere and follow one of those guys with a lot more experience than we do, and we'll just have to see how this Kentucky Fried Chicken Chevrolet is running toward the end of the race.
A relative rookie on the pole.
Well, Mike Skinner surprising a lot of folks with a very strong qualifying run, a 172.48 mile-an-hour lap for Skinner earlier in the week to gain the pole position among the 43 drivers. Will take the green here in just a moment. Let's take a look now, if we can, at that picture segment we have from yesterday's consolation round. The non-qualified drivers got to run for the final 11 spots. Here's Ernie Irvan in the 28 car, Dale Earnhardt in the 3 on the outside, off of 2. Just to get into today's event, we see Irvan get a little bump there and a great save. And Irvan went by and got around Earnhardt to take the victory in the consolation round. Ultimately, though, Earnhardt did come back and win, we should say. Earnhardt won the consolation and got the 33rd spot. You saw what Irvan and Earnhardt had to do just to race each other and make the show here today. So certainly a lot of folks on the edges of their chairs in that consolation. We expect the same sort of action here today. Kind of a royal motif for our show here this afternoon. The king of broadcasting, I think you'd say, in automobile racing, and the king of stock car racing are together on the roof to call the action today.
Oh, come on, give me a break. Well, I'm with the 7-time champion, Richard Petty, and it's a thrill to have him up here topside. You know, his career really began in Charlotte, North Carolina. I guess you'd call this the home track, Richard.
More or less. We run down the road a little bit from here, but still, yeah, we run a lot of running here, too.
It's an honor for all of us to have you alongside. $320,000 brought out the biggest field we've ever had for this 300-mile race. 23 cars failed to qualify, Richard, and some big names are not in this. Mike Wallace didn't make it. Tommy Houston, Kevin LePage knocked out Stevie Reeves from USAC. What they say is really true. This is tough stuff.
It really is. When you get this close, when you got the man 2nd, 3rd, 5th, and 10th in the point stand and doesn't even make the race, you bet it's a lot of competition out there.
And that's what we expect for 300 miles, 200 laps here today, 43 cars strong. And we're just about set to roll the field out. Shortly, we'll be taking a look at the starting lineup for you, and what a surprise it is. Hey, the story I can't believe is Earnhardt saying he's going to play a waiting game. Folks, if he does that, you're in for a first this afternoon.
I hope to see that. I want to see that. I want to be there when he does it the first time.
If you see it for the first time, it'll be here this afternoon. That's what he claims he's going to do, but he may be throwing us a slider on that one. The field is rolling out, and we're getting ready for the Champion 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway, the prelude to the great Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow here on TBS.
The Champion Spark Plug 300 on TBS is brought to you by Avalon Formula 3 Motor Oil, by Napa Auto Parts, by Ford and your Ford dealer, by Split Fire Spark Plugs, and by Busch Beer.
Let's take a look right now at the Haviland starting lineup. He used to push brooms at Petty Enterprises. Now in his 4th career start, Mike Skinner's on the pole. Alongside is the 2-time winner, Harry Gant. In row 2, Elton Sawyer, second last week at Nazareth, hoping to improve. Joe Nemechek is going to start beside him. He'll be on the outside of the front row tomorrow in the 600. It's Tim Bender, the former world snowmobile champion from New York, on the inside of row 3. And Mark Martin, who won here in the 300 last October, outside of row 3. Broken shoulder blade and all, Micah Waltrip, defending 300-mile champion, ready for service. Jeff Purvis, great new star out of Clarksville, Tennessee, is next. The 2-time winner, Dale Jarrett, starts in 9th position. And the former modified champion, Mike Magic Shoes McLaughlin, ran 5th last week at Nazareth. In row 6, it's Randy Porter, a 3rd-place finisher at Atlanta this year. And Phil Parsons in car number 29. And the rest of the starting field. In row 7, it'll be Roy Payne and Hermie Sadler. For row 8 is the current point leader, Kenny Wallace and Tracy Leslie. For row 9 today, that's going to be Stanton Barrett and Terry Labonte. In row 10, it's Larry Pearson and Robert Presley. Going in row 11, Bobby Labonte, the runner-up here in 92, and Randy LaJoy. For row 12, it's Chad Little and Sterling Marlin. In row 13, Derek Cope, recent winner-up at New Hampshire International Speedway, and Jim Bound. Row 14 is Dennis Setzer and Rodney Combs. Row 15 is David Green and Ricky Craven. He's won 2 races already this year. In row 16, it's Bob Doddard out of Chicago, Bobby Doddard and Tim Fedua. In row 17, 33rd is Dale Earnhardt, and flanking him is Ernie Irvin. For row 18, it's Ken Schrader and Jason Keller in his 2nd start in the Spring Classic alongside. Row 19 is Morgan Shepard and Dave Resendez. In row 20, it's Tommy Ellis and Ronald Cooper. Row 21, Johnny Benson, last year's ASA champ, and Joe Bessie. And starting 43rd, Steve Grissom rounds out the field. A quick note from Dick Berggren.
This race has been won from the back before. In 1990, Sterling Marlin started 32nd and won. He came through the Consi. In 91, Gant won the Consi, started 33rd and won. Today, Earnhardt is starting in the back of the pack. He won the consolation. It'll be fun watching him to come through and see if he can also win.
Earnhardt, 2-time winner from 33rd position, coming down to the line. Green flag is out. And we're underway. Our onboard cameras are with Ricky Craven and with Steve Grissom. A couple of top Grand National racers, Richard, as they square off in this 300-mile test. 12th race of the Grand National campaign, the Busch Grand National for 1994.
It'll take them a couple laps to get in line. Everybody thinks they're going to win the race right now, and they're going to be running side to side. But it'll take them along to decide different.
Mike Skinner drives it down onto the bottom of the track. Originally out of Ontario, California, worked at Petty Engineering. And it's Petty that's the crew chief on that black number 88 up in front. Harry Gant steals the show and goes out in front. Gant has led 5 of 7 Busch races this year, and he sticks the nose of that number 7 out in front off turn number 2.
Everybody's sort of falling in line now, trying to find out what their cars are going to do. It'll take them a few laps to see if they're really sticking or handling as good as they want to. But it looks like that Skinner's car is really getting in the 3rd corner, but he's not getting off the 4th too good.
Back in the main straightaway. Mark developing here for 2nd.
Yeah, Mark's trying to get on up in there. He's going to see what's going on. I guess Earnhardt's sort of idling around back here right now, but he really didn't run that good qualifying. Really didn't run that good in the race. He just outrun everybody in that particular race.
Schrader could be a hawk in this one. He loves to fly up through. Look at this, 3 wide down the back straightaway. Tight running.
And Mark's working on Skinner now.
There's Earnhardt, well back.
Oh, he's
working
up
on number 43.
Yeah, he's up there working on my car. Have a talk with my man there.
Rodney Combs. Yeah. That is your car, Richard. It's not your colors, but that's your car.
No, that's a French's car that we run the Busch series, and he's been running in and out. We got a little bit different in the body this year, this week, and I think he's had a little trouble making that adjustment. But it's a long race. Maybe he can get a little bit of draft and get on up in there.
99 car fading back into the hands of car number 3. Hard running here in the early going. Again, is pulling away, and look at Earnhardt fight his way up through. And the tough guys together, Presley and Earnhardt, side by side.
And neither one of them giving anything right now. Earnhardt will wear him out.
Larry Pearson right in there. Into the back straightaway another time. You saw Derek Cope's car. Remember, he won earlier this season at New Hampshire. Got his Grand National licks in. A lot of different winners on the campaign thus far. Meanwhile, Mark Martin is moving up in front and trying to close. Look at this battle. Everywhere you look, you've got a struggle going on out here.
Got a new leader right now.
5 laps are complete, and it's Mark Martin putting that 6-cylinder Ford down to the bottom and into first place. Harry Gant having to settle for second with his Chevy. Joe Nemechek lies third. Jeff Purvis is in fourth, and up to fifth comes Phil Parsons with a great run in the early going. Around to complete, 6 laps this time.
I can't make no comment when it's not on TV, right?
Well, yeah, sure, you can make any comment you want.
When they get sideways like it takes my breath.
Up in turn 4, they've got him 3 wide, duking it out here.
Yeah, they got it squared away and come on.
Let's go back to Earnhardt for just a moment in car number 3 as he tries to cut his way through the field from the 33rd starting position today. Earnhardt now showing in 24th position.
Yeah, Schrader's in front of him, and you know, they right there digging with it.
There you see Dale Jarrett down on the bottom, and alongside is Mike Skinner, Caraway Speedway champion here in the Carolinas. That's one of the tough tracks. Skinner.
Yeah, I think he's just trying to get some experience with the situation. I think they've got some situations where they're going to be able to run some more races, and he needs to finish the race, get that experience on these big super speedways, which he doesn't have.
He's a 15-year veteran, really, is Skinner, in the black 88, fighting right now with the 32 Jarrett back in 8th position. And Gene Petty is the crew chief, and that's what, a first cousin?
Yeah, that's first cousin. Yeah, Gene used to work for us, and he used to work with a bunch of the racing deal a long time ago, but last 3 or 4 years, I don't think he's messed with race cars, and they got together with Skinner. They live right down the road from each other, and they've got this new project going, so it looked like they got off to a good start, that's for sure.
Battle for 8 continues between the 88 on the outside, Skinner, who set on the pole, and Dale Jarrett, the 90 and the 1988 winner. Take a look up front as Mark Martin, winner here last October, just skims over this racetrack and builds up a 10-12 car length advantage. Tell you, the one that moved quickly in the early goings was Phil Parsons from 12th up into the 5th position. Here's your leader, car number 60, Mark Martin staying in front. Harry Gant still in second, going third now. Nemechek has pulled himself up a spot. Purvis in fourth. Parsons. And then Mike McLaughlin. Take a look further back at this action. There's Randy LaJoie down on the inside in the 20. He has 4 second-place finishes, still trying to get the nod on the first win. And right up on the outside, Ken Schrader slices through the Fenton, Missouri rider. There you see Ernie Irvin right behind him. What a great battle this one is. Schrader from 23rd to 19th in this struggle.
He's got a bunch of good cars right there, but they're catching up with him pretty good. So
from 30
more interesting.
Yeah. 35th to 19th.
That's pretty quick in just 7-8 laps. That's pretty dead good. Especially with the competition as close as what it is. These boys have the experience, I think, of running these races to begin with the Winston Cup drivers do. They have that experience over the Busch Series, but the Busch Series are getting better and better and better because you have to look at how many of the Busch Series drivers have moved up to the Winston Cup and been doing real good with it.
There's Jeff Purvis under some pressure right now. Phil Parsons going after him in a battle for second place as well. Nemechek down to the bottom, the blue car. Takes his Chevy up into second. Harry Gant falls to third as Nemechek wants to go play hard. What a week Nemechek is having at Charlotte. He's put himself up in the front row for the 600 tomorrow, which begins at 5 o'clock. Hope you're going to be with us for it. Nemechek is closing on Mark Martin, Richard.
Yeah, he's got a little bit of ways to go, but you know, this is a long race. We just got started, like I say. Everybody's just trying to get settled down, and boys in the front's kind of settled down. The boys back here about 10th or 15th, they hadn't settled down yet. They still racing.
13 of 200 laps are complete. And for the moment, Mark Martin is in command with Nemechek second, Gant third, Parsons fourth, and Jeff Purvis in fifth.
Welcome back to Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS Sports. The Champion Spark Plug 300 for the Busch Grand National Series just underway, and some great racing already in the early going. Let's show you our MasterCard race analysis for the drivers today, going for more than $320,000 in purse money. 43 cars in the field for 300 miles today. The race record here is 139 miles an hour and change, set by Dale Jarrett. 5 make it 6 years ago. Cars today with a 55-mile-an-hour speed on pit road. That can earn a driver a spot in the penalty box if they don't maintain that speed limit. Ken?
Point leader Kenny Wallace has just gone back to the garage area. This could really make a wholesale change in the points. Kenny Wallace looks like he's retired. The car number 8. It just rolled down pit road, and it looks for all the world like it's going to be a short day for that TIC Financial car. Meanwhile, Martin stays in front. We're at 19 laps complete.
And Nemechek's closing in on him a little bit now, a little bit at a time.
He is the fastest car on the racetrack. Look at this struggle further back in the field. Chad Little in the 23. And right with him comes Schrader. That is a scrap.
That's a real little race right in there.
15th spot right in there. Schrader stays right behind Chad Little. Remember, Chad had that great run for third spot down at Daytona earlier this year. He's picked up a 5th as well in Grand National standings this 1994 season. Take a look at the Napa running order after 18 of 200 laps have been completed on the mile and a half at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. There's Earnhardt continuing to work the bottom and fight his way up through Richard. He's coming.
Yeah, he's still right there with him. Hey,
he just took Chad Little.
Yeah, but he's still behind there, but he's coming on. They just picking off one about every 2 or 3 laps, so they're gonna be there.
I'll tell you, the other one's moving. Schrader has come up to 12th position.
Well, Earnhardt's right on his bumper, so they're right there. They got away from Ernie. Ernie's back there a couple of cars behind him. So.
I'll tell you who else is on the move. We've got 31 car. Grissom coming from 43rd on the start. He came out of there dead last up into 26. Grissom in the channel lock car, giving it a whale of a ride this afternoon.
Pretty good gain right quick. Yeah.
Good driver. I like the way he looks out there. He's smooth.
He handles himself real good on and off the racetrack. This is a heck of a race right here, man. It really are.
Let's get the story on Kenny Wallace. Here's Dick Berggren.
He's behind the wall. Did it blow up?
Yeah, it blowed up. You know, setup was perfect. We nailed it this morning, made some changes, and, you know, got all the way up to, I guess, about 8th there. And oil temps started getting hot, and it started lugging. You know, it's the 3rd motor we blew this week, so pretty tough to try to win a championship blowing 5 motors up this year so far.
Charlotte's very tough on engines. About 25% of them will blow up before the checkered flag today.
Bad day for the man first in Grand National points, but not by very much. That could all turn topsy-turvy before this afternoon is over. Just 70 points back was David Green, and just 18 points behind him, the 2-time winner, Ricky Craven.
Yeah, those boys made the field on provisionals.
Yep.
They didn't even make it qualifying, so they got a lucky break on that.
3 of the top 10, 4 of the top 10.
4 of the top 10. They made it on provisionals.
Randy Pemberton has a report for us.
Well, guys, I wanted to update you on Terry Labonte. He started 15th. He's dropped outside the top 30. One of the most consistent drivers on both the Winston Cup and Busch Series. Here's what he's doing. When he gets his next pit stop, he's going to take a rubber out of the right rear spring. He's very, very loose on the racetrack. He's just riding it out. They're going to stick a rubber in the right front. That's all just to change the complexion of the race car. So hope they can tighten it up for him so he can steer a little better, as opposed to having that car come around him. So Terry Labonte also take a little tape off of the front of the grill. So they're waiting for that pit stop. They need it badly.
Yeah, he's now back to 35th. Bad day for Terry Labonte in car number 14. 25 laps are now complete, all green thus so far. And look at this battle. Isn't this a beauty? There you see Earnhardt in the 3 car deployed 14th. 13th is the Sterling Marlin car, and then comes Ken Schrader. Look at that struggle. Boy, you want to be right coming off turn 4, or you want to be out of here.
You're gonna better be lined up to get down the front stretch, because it's real rough. That's the roughest race part on the racetrack, and it throws the cars out right up into that little loop up there, and if you're not heading in the right direction, you get in some deep trouble.
Remember what Earnhardt told us about the waiting game.
Yeah, I guess he's still waiting.
He's sure got a funny way of waiting.
Yeah, he's done passed 15, 18 cars, and he's still waiting, right?
These cars are well back from the front of the field, about 16 seconds. So, of course, now he's looking for a caution since he's sorted out a lot of the field from 33rd position. Leads Nemechek in 87 to the bottom and under Mark Martin. So it's Chevrolet back in front, Ford to second place, and Harry Gant Chevy in third, Phil Parson. You know, Phil had that first win in the early going of Grand National down in Bristol in 82. He's had 83 Grand National starts without a victory since. He had a great race here a year ago, and he looks strong right now. Joe Nemechek has the lead tomorrow in the Coca-Cola 600. Green flag drops at 5. We'll be on the air at 4:30 tomorrow afternoon.
The first three's kind of stretched it out there by themselves right now. They've got probably a 200 or 300 yard lead on everybody. They're just cruising right now. Parsons is just running around by himself out there.
So here you see Nemechek in front, Martin in second, Gant in third. Great run, and Nemechek gets himself that advantage by about 3 car lengths. Are you confident you can run really good out here, Joe?
Oh, yes, very confident. You know, we got some Hoosier tires on the car. We did a lot of testing down here for them. They're real good. I think we have something for them.
Richard Petty, a question for you as we watch these 3 leaders. Last year we saw Mark Martin just run away and hide here in these Busch Grand National events. Today he seems to be taking it a lot more conservatively. Is that a good plan for him?
I don't know if that's his plan or not. I don't think that was his plan, but you know, I see they're just passing him back there again. Now he's back to third place. Perry just passed him, and I don't know where they're having some kind of trouble. It must be because as much racer as he is, he's not going to pull over and let anybody go.
Of course, we do have that automatic stop at midway. This year, there's not the 15-minute intermission. There's a 4-lap intermission. The field will stay on the track. There will be none counting laps. So if you want to come in and make a change, you can then assume the position you are in. So that changes the complexion some, but it does put the whole field back together and give us that second start. Look at Randy LaJoie up on the outside and fighting for another spot with car number 20. LaJoie in 23rd position, making that outside run. Morgan Shepherd right with him on the bottom, another 2-time winner here in the 300. Shepherd coming back.
Yeah, there's my man right back there behind watching them, so maybe he's just waiting to let them make the decision, then he's going on. Rodney's running along there pretty good. He's not that good, but he's not that bad, so he's moved up 5 or 6 positions anyway, and he's still running.
Why did you pick Rodney Combs to drive the 43?
Well, really, Rodney and myself got into business over here at Charlotte with the racing school, Richard Petty driving experience, and we went into business about 4 or 5 years ago with that deal, and you know, one thing led to another, and he'd been wanting to drive a race car, and so the opportunity came along with Rick and Coleman to sponsor the race car, and French is sponsoring the car today. So you know, it's just sort of a buddy deal, and he's been doing a pretty good job for us.
You really want me to say he's hotter than mustard? I mean, come on, Richard.
No. We got not quite. Hopefully not anyway.
Here you see Joe Nemechek out in front. 32 laps have been completed. You see Gant in second. Mark Martin deployed third.
Gant's gaining on him a little bit there, too.
We'll be back with more from the Charlotte Motor Speedway after this. With the pride of Alabama, Steve Grissom in car number 31, the Channel Lock car, in 17th position. That's who's giving you the ride down the back straightaway, about 170, 75 miles an hour into turn number 3. Just pitches it down to the bottom of the racetrack. And that's Grissom at work out here in this 300-mile Busch Grand National race. Meanwhile, back up in front as they continue the slugfest. Nemechek stays first. Gant, 2 cars links back in second.
And they've worked away from Martin just a little bit right now, but they're in a lot of traffic, so I don't know what's going on with him.
There you see the front 2, and then it's 12 car lengths back to Mark Martin. As to the condition of Earnhardt, he's running at the present time in 12th position from 33rd. They've completed 38 laps.
Yeah, they're about 3/4 of a lap on him also. I mean, they're not coming up to lap him right now, but he's in danger if he doesn't start picking it up a little bit, that's for sure.
Behind him is Sterling Marlin. Go back up with the leaders. Here's Nemechek in first, and Gant in second place.
See, the deal when you start running here, it's not how fast you run in the beginning of the race. You've got all the slower cars, and you've got the raceway cars. The ones up front might not be running any quicker than you are, but they're getting there quicker than you are because they don't have the traffic. So that gets them separated, and then it takes a while for everybody to get separated, decide where they're going to run.
Well, there's going to be a lot more separation before this one's over. It's really warm out here. We'll talk about that in a moment as Gant seems to be picking it back up again. Let's go back with Grissom for just a moment and remember what Grissom has done out here. He's come from 43rd position to 17th, and that's at 40 laps, and they've all been green flag laps to date as you watch him heading down there and closing up on Chad Little. Trying to move into 16th. What's he doing there?
I missed that.
Reaching up there by the window. Let's see if he does it again. Closes in again on Chad Little from the state of Washington, Spokane way.
See that gear shift vibrating in there. You think that thing's smooth looking out the front, but look inside the car and you see all the jumping around and the
oh, we've got a spin.
So that's the smoke.
That's turn 2, and car number 36 does a rounder. That's Tim Bender out of Colden, New York. We've seen him down here win, I believe, 4 sportsman races. He's a world champion snowmobiler. You ever been snowmobiling, Richard?
Went one time. Went up into Canada. It was like 30 below zero. So
Once was enough?
That I had 2 times, first and then the last one. You know, I mean, one of those kind of days. It was great. We really enjoyed it then.
Well, that's what this Bender has done and made his reputation on, and he drove beautifully in sportsman races. But right now, Tim Bender has looped one in turn 2, and here he comes back, bringing out the first caution of the day. Ooh, he wrinkled the back of that one up pretty strong.
He done backed it in the wall somewhere. I missed that, and also.
Now you're riding with Ricky Craven, the DuPont car. Big race for Craven today, with Wallace out, Green in second spot in the standings, and Craven. This is their opportunity to move up. Remember, Ricky Craven, Grand National North champion. He won the Oxford 250 up in Maine. He's moved down onto the circuit, owns his own car now, has his own team, and he's pulled himself up with 2 wins in the 3rd spot. He's just 19 points behind Green coming into today's race in this DuPont automotive car. So we'll see how the afternoon proceeds for both Green and for Craven. Now the leaders are all coming in. This is happening at lap 42.
Yeah, this is where it makes it interesting, according to how good they can get in the pits and get out of the pits and where they're going to start the next time around.
Let's take a look at the 60 car with Mark Martin coming in here.
Yeah, they put a little wedge in that dude. I guess it got a little loose.
Here's Dick Berggren.
And that has been the problem. The chassis has not been exactly right. First it was tight, now it's loose. And they're also concerned about the engine temperature. The car is running hot. 16.4. Good stop for Mark Martin.
Ooh. Things don't sound too good for Mark Martin at the moment. As you saw, they were plucking in some more wedge into that car. So, Craven, he got lucky out here in these pit stops. He was within 1.5 seconds from going down a lap, Richard. So that was a real advantage. Those front cars.
Yeah, that's going to put them all back up there and give everybody a chance now. You see a different race now. A lot of the ones that were a little loose or a little pushing, they can make those adjustments and run with the people that they couldn't run with before. So, you know, a lot of times you say, well, you know, your man's out there. You want to keep him out there. But when they have those cautions, it makes it so much better.
Back in a moment to Charlotte and the Champion 300. There you see the rundown as of 45 laps with Gant in front, and old Magic Shoes himself is up to second place. Nemechek in third, Waltrip, Mark Martin, Phil Parsons. As we get set to run them once again, Jeff Purvis in 7th, Schrader in 8th, Elton Sawyer 9th, Chad Little 10th. Take a look at the replay on how we came to our first caution this afternoon. Bender in trouble, got really loose up there. I don't know whether
he got touched from behind or not, but he come up by himself, and these boys do a good job of getting woed down and missing him, that's for sure.
That's where those radios on the roof really help.
They really do.
Those spotters do a wonderful job.
They just holler in them, and everybody then gets to looking around to see what's going on.
So McLaughlin from 10th is up into second spot. We gave you the top 10. Let me go back a little further. Little in 10th, Bobby Labonte 11th, Dale Earnhardt 12th, Dale Jarrett 13th, Stanton Barrett 14th, as we take a look at the field organizing on the start from the Rebestos aerial platform here this afternoon at Charlotte. 15th position is Ernie Irvin, and 16th is Skinner, the pole sitter, as we get set to go again. And if they take green, 46 laps will have been completed.
Got a little tight up at about 10th or 12th back there. I seen him just go every which way.
On the brake.
Oh, there they go. Somebody head on in the wall.
Again, a big crash going down to the corner. 5, 6. A hard one on the restart going into turn number 1. Tears up. It looks like at least 10 cars. Well, let's see. There's Sterling Marlin's car is in it. I think Derek Cope got collected. There's Tracy Leslie's car, the 33, badly damaged. That's Bobby Labonte out of Corpus Christi walking away. Stanton Barrett went low and apparently knocked the 23 car of Chad Little and the 33 car into the outside wall. Bobby Labonte's car, and then the rest were taking evasive action. There's Chad Little out. He's okay, but he is angry and frustrated. And here's the 63 that tried to take evasive action. Jim Bound out of Portland, Oregon. He's in trouble. There's Randy LaJoie's number 20. That one's gone.
It was a bad one, man. I mean, they was going everywhere. And, you know, it's one of those deals when it happens, you do everything you can to woe down, and then somebody hits you in the back, and then you hit somebody over the front. There's nothing anybody can do. Once that happens, everybody is running so fast and so quick. There's no evasive action. You make a decision and hope it's the right one.
There's Derek Cope's car, and Dale Jarrett. Again, as to what happened, let's take a look in replay at that start. There's the 23, the 33, and down to the inside went Stanton Barrett trying to find a hole, and he drives those two up into the wall. Oh, a hard lick on Chad Little, and equally hard on Bobby Labonte as Stanton Barrett tried to make his own way on the bottom of the racetrack. And now watch this wild game of jeopardy going into turn number 1.
Man, I can't describe them like that.
Another angle. Well, you see, it's happening down here. It's already begun.
I mean, you're looking here, and you don't see anything except smoke. And when you're down there, you're down in the smoke, and you see less than what you see here. You say, okay, I'm going to go high, low, or in the middle, just hoping there's nobody in front of you. And if they get in front of you, you hit them. But even if you slow down, the man behind you don't see you, and he's going to run into you. So you just have to be lucky. You take pot luck, and everything is just a quick decision. You don't think about it, you just do it. And if you get lucky, you can get by, and if you don't, then somebody comes out in front of you.
Well, we'll talk more with Richard Petty about what you can and can't do when a situation like this develops in front of you when we return. There are 48 laps complete. We are under the second caution of the day. This one's major here at Charlotte. Chad Little storming away from his car. He walked into the infield and then collapsed. The ambulance has just picked up Chad Little. They put a neck brace on him, and they are taking him to the infield hospital here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Chad Little, who stepped away from the car, has now been administered to and is going to be taken into the emergency care center here at the track. Little, as we mentioned earlier, ran third at Daytona back in February, briefly led the Daytona 500, 8th in points. Key race for him today, all over early, and the rest of the destroyed cars are coming in, and they are badly battered and destroyed at this time. We see Little's car directly in front of us, all torn up in the nose, field going down, still making laps. We're up to lap number 50. Little's car took a terrible piece of abuse. Let's go down on pit road for the story on what happened out there.
I'm with Bobby Labonte, who was right in the thick of it. What happened, Bobby?
Looks like something happened up front and kind of boxed everybody up. Everybody was on the gas and had to get back off of it. And then some people went to the outside, some people went to the inside, and I was trying to get to the outside because it slowed down the inside. And I saw it was full up there, so I was trying to just stay in a straight line. It seemed like the second little dog leg, somebody went through the grass or something. felt like it. Looked like it, something like that. But
were you able to talk to Chad Little?
Yeah, he looked like he was hurt a little bit, but I hope he's all right. You know, it looked like he was sore.
Bobby Labonte.
Well, there's the story from down on pit road as Bobby Labonte passes it on to us. You can see they're still bringing in cars. There's the Dale Jarrett car, the two-time winner, and Sterling Marlin's number 4 as well. Badly rumpled and still there. Let's go back to the pit center and Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken, as we watch some of the damaged sheet metal, the damaged equipment in this grinding crash here in the first quarter of the race, a lot of folks, of course, want to make their plans for the second half of the 1994 Winston Cup and Busch Grand National seasons. We've got a great way for you to do that. We're in the Bell South Pit Communications Center today. Bell South sponsoring Joe Bessie's automobile in today's Busch Grand National competition. We talked to you about this at Charlotte, the official directory of NASCAR. For your trip planning for 1994, I just happened to open it up to the page for Charlotte Motor Speedway here. If we can show you this as we watch the number to call if you'd like to order one of these, 1-800-RACE-345. And we have plenty of operators ready to take your call today and tomorrow. We want to tell you that only $24.95. There's all sorts of information, more than you could possibly ask for if you've never been to Charlotte or any of the other speedways on the tour. A lot of folks planning their first trip to Indianapolis later this summer for the Brickyard 400. All the information on Indianapolis Motor Speedway in the area right here in this book. And when we came to you from Richmond back in March, we never expected the kind of response that we got. Some of you had trouble getting through to order one of these Bell South official directories, your 1994 trip planning guide to the races from NASCAR. We have plenty of folks ready to take your call and your order now. If you'd like to order something, maybe for Father's Day, that's coming up in just a couple of weeks. And here's the way to do it. 1-800-RACE-345. It'll get you all the information you need as you plan your next visit to a NASCAR event.
Thanks, Rick. The 3 cars in 6th, 7th, 8th positions in the point battle, LaJoy, Leslie, and Chad Little all destroyed in this wreck down in turn number 3. We can get more on the story about Sterling Marlin right now.
Sterling had been running so well. What did it look like to you out there?
It's a big wreck. I don't know what happened. You know, I seen them moving around, and I said they're gonna have a wreck right here, and sure enough they did. And we was okay, and then somebody run the back of us, and I guess somebody the oil cooler busted, went all over the windshield, and I couldn't see nothing. And I smelled a lot of gas and just slid down there and stopped. And our car wasn't hurt bad, but it knocked the toe end all off on it. But we was running good. It got way up, and we took the spring rubber out on the pit stop and got behind. And I had second questions about it, and but they had a wreck on the restart. What else?
Sure sounds like a scary moment.
A scary moment indeed as you look at the remains of Chad Little's race car. You can see where that front end got driven back, what, about 2.5 feet?
Yeah,
that's a hard lick.
He hit on the outside, and then at the same time, somebody hit him on the other side. And, you know, he took it really, really rough deal there because there's no cushion. When he hit, man, that cement wall there is awful quick.
Take a look at this replay again. You see that car down on the bottom.
On the inside, and he hit the one in the middle. And then when they come back, it's just, you know, there's nobody got any control of what's going on in. These cars off the ground and everything here, man.
Derek Cope's car took a horrible beating.
Yeah, they got that one straightened up.
Well, we're under caution, and we will be for some time. 52 laps are officially on the board now. Here's another view, Richard, of what happened. There's that Barrett car down on the bottom, low.
Okay. I don't know who was in the middle, but when he hit the boy in the middle, and
that was Bobby Labonte.
Okay, he hit Bobby and then
hit Chad Little,
and then Bobby hit Chad, and there was nothing anybody could do. But then when they come back out onto the track, if they could get up there and stay, but it don't work that way.
Now, do I
ricochet off? You know,
I think I understand that Craven's car, number 2, also picked up some abuse in that. He either ran over something. They've been on pit road 2 or 3 times. And Randy Pemberton is down there with Morgan Shepherd with more on the story.
Well, Morgan, I know your car was running good. First of all, you walked in the infield care center. You're okay?
Yeah, I'm okay. I wish I could say that for my Cherwine Thunderbird. It's not so good. It was such a shame, you know, it was running so good, but we qualified bad, and that's what happens when you're back-to-back and you get caught up in some of these things, so unfortunately.
We asked a couple of other drivers what happened. Did you see it start or anything you could have done about it? I guess not.
Well, I didn't see what caused it. I seen cars all piling up, and so I just stayed where I was at. There was nowhere I could go because it's cars all over the place.
Short day today, but tomorrow you got a long one, you hope.
Yes, I do. The Citgo Thunderbirds run real good in practice, and we're looking forward to tomorrow, Randy.
Okay. Morgan should be good in the Coca-Cola 600 tomorrow, guys.
Indeed. He started in 37th position. Worked. There goes Derek Cope's car. Look at the abuse that one took. Morgan Shepherd is another of the victims. The 2-time winner of this 300-mile race retires early. 53 complete. It's the Champion 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway, and more on this big crash in a moment. At Charlotte Motor Speedway, now 55 of 200 laps complete. First half of the race, 8 cars victimized by a hard, terrible crash in the turn 1 area. From an onboard camera with Ricky Craven, that's the car number 2, and they continue to work on that car. They've gone in and out. I don't think they've gone down a lap. They try to keep him in this battle. But take a look at the pictures he gave us as he tried to dart through all the damage down here in turn number 1.
He's coming off the 4 there. It's going into the first dog leg. Now we're on the straightaway. This is it, and then you see a bunch of smoke. And he's got his hand up trying to tell everybody behind, but then he doesn't know where to go. Now, he just bumps that car in front of him.
Herbie Sadler.
Yeah,
bumped him twice.
He got him twice. Here he's grabbed another gear, and all of a sudden it clears up where he can see where he's at. He could see no more than what you could see on the TV screen.
Looks like somebody closed the curtain out there.
Yeah, it just pulls the shade, but that's what he's in and out of the pits right now, trying to tape up the front end there. He was really lucky that he didn't. You could tell from inside the car that he didn't hit anybody hard enough to knock up the front end or any of that stuff. And all he's trying to do probably now is keep the sheet metal on the front of the car.
The Stanton Barrett car is still out and running. If we get a chance, we ought to take a look at the side of that where it all began. And I should report, too, that there is the Barrett car. And you can remember that was the car on the bottom of the track that moved up into Bobby Labonte, which came across into Chad Little. Those were the first 3 in contact.
Yeah, well, see, when he was coming off the corner and they come to the first little dog leg, and he didn't cut quite as quick as some of the rest of them. And when he did, then that hit the outside man, and then the outside man hit another one, and then the first thing you know, it goes every which way. But here again, I don't know whether he was trying to get by somebody or whether he was just trying to stay off the grass.
11th place is where that car 91 remains at this time. Let me tell you, too, that Dennis Setzer's car has had some work done on it. You know, he's the top rookie this year. We've seen him here at Charlotte in the sportsman events. Another one of those Setzers, and that family's had some great racers over the year. Dennis has had some damage to his car, but he continues out here. Front of the field is now Schrader with Mike Skinner in second. Let's go to Rick Benjamin.
Ken, back in the STP, or rather the Bell South Big Communications Center today. We appreciate Bell South being with us. Kenny Wallace, driver of the TIC Ford, the car number 8, in here with us. We wish you were out on the racetrack, but it's good to have you with us on TBS again.
Well, you know, I really don't want to be on here right now, but that car, I tell you, that car was really running good today. And it just hasn't been our week. We brought a new car here, and we blowed up 3 motors. You know, it's going to be hard to win a championship blowing up this many motors, but start at 15, move all the way up to 9.
Well, let's take a look at what happened here on the racetrack just a moment ago, Kenny. You would have been right perhaps in the middle of this had your motor held up. How did you see this develop?
Well, what I seen was a 33 slowing up just a little bit in the 91, you know, only a second or third race. Didn't know no better, really dove down, made it 3 wide, and like Richard was saying earlier, this is a unique track. It's got a dog leg in it. Well, when you get to that point of the track, you got to turn left, and he kept going straight, and when he went straight, he got into Bobby Labonte, and all heck broke loose. But, you know, this is what this Busch Series is all about. You know, you got a lot of people who are getting into it, minimal experience. You know, Mike Skinner on the pole with 3 races, and this is what's going to happen.
Well, they've thinned out the traffic for you. I just got a note here. Your car's fixed and ready to go back into the race. They need you at car number 8. You're going to settle up and go back out.
I'm ready to go.
All right. Thank you. Kenny Wallace with us in the STP Pit Center. How often do you see that where a driver comes in for an interview, pulls off the headset, he'll put his helmet back on? Dick Berggren's on pit road.
Great drama here in the garage. Randall LaJoie's crew is trying to put this pile of wreckage back together again. He was 6 in points. His father is working on the oil cooler. Randy's working on the car himself. Can you get it back in, Randy?
Well, we're just going to go out there and run for some points. The frame didn't get damaged, just everything in front of the radiator and oil cooler and stuff like that. I'm not sure what happened up front, but it was a heck of a mess by the time I got there and tried to slow down.
And they're having to weld brackets on to hold this radiator in place. Everything in the front end is just torn completely out.
All right, coming down for a start. They've taken Chad Little to the hospital, injured right shoulder on the restart at lap 58. Schrader first, Skinner second, Tommy Ellis in third, McLaughlin is fourth, Harry Gant fifth, Nemechek sixth, Michael Waltrip seventh, he with a broken shoulder blade today, Mark Martin in eighth, Phil Parsons ninth, Earnhardt in 10th, Purvis 11th, as they sort them out in the back straightaway. The 44 is coming back out.
Yeah, Green's trying to get out there, but what happened, we had another pit stop deal. Everybody made another pit stop, being it was a long caution, and they got all new tires on the car now, so most of them's got 4 brand new tires, so it's going to be real interesting.
Schrader pops out in front, and set on the pole, and only his 4th Grand National race. Stays right there in second, holding on to that car created by Gene Petty. They say a possible broken collarbone on Chad Little from that hard crash in turn number 1. We'll keep you updated on that. And look at the 88. Look at this 3 wide. Further back in the field, inside, outside moves. It's wild here at Charlotte today. Here we go for the lead. It's Skinner down on the inside under Schrader. The Gene Petty created car goes up in front. Now, where do we remember Gene Petty from, Richard?
Gene used to work for us and stuff, but then he worked with Firestone for a long time, and he worked for some boys out of South Carolina. And they used to win all the sportsman races and stuff, but that was like 10 or 15 years ago, 10 or 12 years ago anyway.
Here's Harry Gant going into second spot, and that's the first lap he's ever led. That car number 88 in front, and it's even for second spot. Gant in the 7th. Schrader on the outside. And right with him comes another 2-time winner, Tommy Ellis.
So all the cars are starting right now, and most of them up front's got on 4 new tires, so they're going to run the best that they're going to run. And then as they go along, then they'll start separating from each other.
Mike Skinner out in front. Darrell Waltrip says that Mike Skinner is a ghost from the past.
From what?
I saw that car. We were down there, and this number 88 with KFC come rolling out of the garage, and I said, my goodness, whose car is that? And Tony Glover, and I said, that's Monk Tate's car. Monk Tate's a guy who used to race years ago, so I've heard of Mike Skinner, but I know who he is now.
Everybody knows who Mike Skinner at this moment is, the leader in the Champion 300. Meanwhile, Mark Martin and Earnhardt hard at it. This is for 6. Here they come over those bumps in turn 4. And look up front at this. Gant on the outside, going to the lead at the start-finish line into turn number 1. Give it back to Harry Gant.
And Harry got a good run at him off of number 4 there and really got with him.
Oh, we've got one car in the wall. Slithering along the outside is car number 31, Grissom.
Now, he's been running so good. I don't know what happened. We'll have to look at the replay, but he has really been running good all day.
The channel lock, number 31, slaps the wall, going into turn number 1 at about 170 miles per hour. It has gone all the way around to turn number 2, grinding off the side, back to the line. Gant in first, Skinner in second, Schrader in third to the stripe.
They've done a good job of keeping the car up there, or it stayed up there, and that always looks good. If you get a car in the wall and you're lucky enough to keep it in the wall, then 9 times out of 10 you're not going to cause any trouble for you or anybody else.
Well, there you see, just beyond the suites where car number 31 is on the track. That happened just as he started down into turn number 1. And Grissom, who gave it such a great go in Grand National Racing a year ago, moved up to Winston Cup, back here today in this channel lock car. Looks like it's over for him this afternoon. Third caution of the afternoon came at lap 63 for Alabama's Steve Grissom. Leader on the field is Gant. Skinner is in second. You're inside the car as Grissom extricates himself. He's okay.
Hung his helmet up. He's getting out now. He's all right.
He was smoking heavily just before he hit the wall. Perhaps he had some oil come out.
We was busy.
Tires, and away he went.
Yeah, we was busy watching him up front, so could have dropped the engine or something and just kept it on up in the wall.
End of the day for Grissom and company. Channel lock car is out of the race. Ellis in 9th, Purvis in 10th, and Michael Waltrip in 11th. Stay with us. 66 of 200 laps have been completed with Gant in front, Skinner second, Schrader third, and Mike McLaughlin holding fourth. Earnhardt up into 5th position. And this latest caution for Steve Grissom's car number 31. The next stop on the TBS Sports NASCAR Trail is the Miller Genuine Draft 500 at Pocono Raceway, which is coming up on July the 14th. A lot of action at Pocono these days, and with more on that story, here's Rick Benjamin.
Certainly is, Ken. We're looking forward to heading back to Pocono this year on TBS in July, but they have another 500-mile event coming up in the month of June on the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. June the 12th, in fact, is the date for that. And there's a whole lot going on at Pocono Raceway as our friends up in Pennsylvania prepare for their 2 stops on the tour this year. We'll tell you how to get involved in this sweepstakes in a moment. The June 12th event, sponsored by UAW and GM Teamwork. The night before, on the 11th, they've got a great concert that you can enjoy at the racetrack. Tracy Lawrence will be in concert, country singing star there. And how about the UAW GM $1 million sweepstakes? Here's how to get involved with that. All you have to do is call 1-800-937-POCONO and apply for a NASCAR MasterCard. This will automatically get you into the UAW GM sweepstakes. Or you can send your name or address, name and address actually, on a postcard to this address, UAW GM Sweepstakes, Box 7813 in Melville, New York, 11775, the zip code. And again, the number 1-800-937-POCONO. Apply for the MasterCard. Either way, you can get into the sweepstakes. $1 million prize up, some wonderful VIP trips available. Lots of fun this summer from our friends at Pocono Raceway, where we'll be heading back in July.
That's Sunday, July the 17th, back at Pocono, that great 2.5-mile track. See the field getting set to unlimber again, get themselves you know, we have 22 cars left on the lead lap after all this action.
I didn't know that many could have missed that big wreck they had, but they have. So
I didn't think some of them did.
No, some of them didn't miss it, but you got to remember they ran, what, 40, 45 laps, and everybody was staying in line, and they didn't have any cautions, so nobody had any trouble, so it kept everybody on the same lap. And you're getting ready to come down at it and try it again.
And as they come down at it, it will be Gant to get it first, with Skinner second, Schrader third, McLaughlin fourth, Earnhardt fifth, Ernie Irvan to sixth, Mark Martin is seventh, Joe Nemechek eighth, Tommy Ellis ninth, and Jeff Purvis 10th on the restart. Michael Waltrip back there in 11th, and Phil Parsons in 12th on the sort out.
Yeah, Harry got off to a good jump on them that time.
Fading back, Skinner on that start. Here comes Gant. To a, what, 8-9 car length advantage?
Yeah, he's trucking on right now.
Green came out at lap 68. Two always looks from that shot as bumpy or bumpier than four. Is that an illusion or real? See them on that shot, it always looks like you're having to grab a handful over there.
Well, it's just a little bit different. It's really rougher off of 4, especially if you run from the middle on up. It's real rough. You can see the spots on the racetrack. But it's sort of a roly-poly deal coming off of 2, and then up the backstretch is real rough. It's just big old looping holes. And you know, supposedly they're supposed to work on the racetrack here and repave it when this race is over. And you're talking about being quick. Once they asphalt this track again, it's going to be one more quick racetrack.
On the inside, that's Earnhardt. Boy, what a scramble we've seen him put on all afternoon. Ernie Irvan is right alongside. Now Earnhardt again falls off as Nemechek gets by him. Martin pulled by him to take 5th. Now Irvan gets him. Here comes Nemechek, and all of a sudden Earnhardt's back in 8th.
Now, see, Nemechek got back after the pit stops. He was running and leading the race and stuff, and when they make those pit stops, and then they changed it up a little bit, and then they made another pit stop, all under that one long caution, and this is the way they wound up.
Richard Petty Award ought to go to Michael Waltrip today. How many times did you drive with broken bones out here? Here he is with a broken shoulder blade when that incident on Saturday night in the Winston Select, just giving it everything he's got.
Yeah,
the heart goes out to him.
That's what makes these race car drivers. That's what makes them so good. The ones that's dedicated, they don't hurt. They just get that out of their mind. They say, we've got a job to do. We're going to go do it. You put a little tape on them or give them a shot or whatever, and away they go.
So there you see the number 34. That's McLaughlin down on the inside being challenged by Mark Martin. At McLaughlin, he is great. Martin just powers around him and looks for Schrader. Schrader in the 52, Martin in the 60. And Schrader having a good run, but Martin looking flawless right for the moment.
But Mark was running real good to begin with, and then he got his car wasn't handling really good. And looks like they've got it dialed back in a little bit better now, because he can run off and left Schrader and all them boys before, and Now it looks like he's dialed back in a little bit better.
Mark Martin, winner of 15 Grand National events, trying to get himself up through. Dennis Setzer, who lost a lap in the pits, had a flat tire, out there and going once again.
And Marks keeps picking them off there. Here he comes at him again.
Look at this lead by Gant. The 1982 and 87 winner, and look again further back. There's Pearson.
Yeah, well, Pearson's lap down. Yeah, and Mark just passed Skinner for second place there. So he's coming on now. Like I say, they got that car dialed in right now.
Interval first to second is 2 4/10 of a second. Mark Martin, can you flat-foot it around this 1.5 miles?
I used to could, but my guys found some horsepower. I can't now. I've always been able to flat-foot this track a lap or two on new tires. I ain't even close this time. I mean, this thing is really going. It's handling good too, but you know, I'd wind up down in the Coliseum if I tried to hold it wide open all the way through 1 and 2.
Puts a lap on Jimmy Bound. Does Mark Martin in car number 60. Gant stays first. Martin, Skinner, Schrader. That's how they're deployed at lap 77. Looking further back on the field. See the 74 car. And John Benson Jr. having a great run. Defending ASA champion. Getting a run out here in the Staff America car. Getting ourselves at 3/4 distance in the first half of this race. Benson in 15th spot. Car 74. Right with him is Hermie Sadler in the 25. And look at this battle. Down to the inside, Phil Parsons. What a go he's given it again today.
Yeah, he's just passed Earnhardt there lap before that. Earnhardt and Ernie's racing at it again.
Nemechek in the pits. Joe Nemechek on pit road coming in. Earnhardt underneath and struggling with Ernie Irvin right now. Irvin up on the high side. This looks like that hooligan race, that consolation event yesterday when these two went at it. Remember?
Just a replay from yesterday, I think.
Boy, they banged on each other. Paid $500 to win, and they really went after each other. Here's Nemechek. Remember, it's Gordon in the front row and Nemechek alongside for the 600. 5 o'clock green flag. We'll be on the air at 4:30 on TBS tomorrow. Let's go to Randy Pemberton.
Well, guys, it looks like they're going to push it to the garage. Broken motor. That's all there is to it. They just said the engine was missing, and that was all for them today. They're not running for points this year, so Joe Nemechek behind the wall. Try it again tomorrow on the Coca-Cola 600.
That's a bad break for Nemechek. There is 87 behind the wall as Gant continues to pull away. Mark Martin stays in that second spot. And there's the 87 finishing its afternoon far differently than they had hoped.
He's not really pulling away. Mark's coming on him pretty good, but catching him pretty fast. So he's coming on.
Just got news, Richard. They may try to get Nemechek back out. That interval between first and second, you're right, is shrinking. It's just a little over a second between first and second.
Another 4 or 5 laps, he'll be right up there on him. Might not take that long.
Take a look at this, Schrader. And he's got Skinner on the outside in the black 88.
Whoa! Oh, me.
Would Richard Petty do that?
3 abreast. Well, he used to do stuff like that, but once they got to where they had these cameras and they take pictures of it,
yeah,
he'd go home and look at that and he'd say, "No, that wasn't him." You know what I mean? So he learned not to do that. That's the reason he's sitting up here.
Schrader in third. Mike Skinner in that 88 car stays fourth. Mike McLaughlin in the 34 is fifth, followed by Phil Parsons, Michael Waltrip 7th, Ernie Irvin 8th, Earnhardt 9th, Robert Presley 10th, with 82 laps complete. So we're going to get back and get with more of the program here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in this exciting Champion 300 in a moment. 84 laps coming up. Harry Gant is just come off the pace. He's in turn 3 and slowing down in car number 7. Gant coming in, the 2-time winner. Nobody's ever won this race 3 times, and it sure is not going to be Harry Gant. He pulled it off in 1982 and 1987. No chance today. Look at Michael Waltrip being challenged. Schrader up on the outside. Gets himself some running room, and right back comes Michael Waltrip. Talk about a gutsy performance. The Pennzoil car, Michael Waltrip on the bottom.
They're racing for second place right there.
Gant led 3 times for 36 laps before he had to give it up. So this makes it for second spot. Ah, there goes Jeff Purvis's car.
Yeah, a little bit too much smoke on that one.
Yeah, that got heated up. It needs some lemonade right now. Needs some kind of aid.
They got a heck of a race for second place here. Second, third, fourth, and fifth all just throw a blanket on them all.
Working lap 89, and here comes Phil Parsons into it, and McLaughlin in that red and gold car. What a race. And into second comes Michael Waltrip.
Skinner right in there, and Earnhardt's right on their bumper.
Kenny Wallace has been standing by as a reserve driver for tomorrow's 600. Should Michael not be able to go the distance, and when he came out there was some talk he might step into that car today. Michael told me yesterday he thought he could go 300 miles, and he was kind of not focusing on the pain. Didn't want to. Yellow is coming down. Yellow down. Caution is out at lap 90.
Yeah, I think it's out for Purvis.
They've laid some oil down as Jeff Purvis's car erupted. So we're under another caution. I think that gets us to 4 thus far this afternoon.
Now we got what, 10 laps for another deal?
Yeah,
halfway.
Until we get to halfway,
right.
Richard. We'll take a commercial break. Be back for that run that'll take us right down to halfway in the Champion Sparkplug 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Stay with us. Caution of the day. We're at lap 92 in the Champion Sparkplug 300 with Richard Petty. I'm Ken Squire. We're probably another 2 laps away from taking green, and nice look of the racetrack here from the Rebestos aerial platform. Nice crowd out for today, as there was last Saturday night for the Winston. Great crowd for qualifying on Wednesday night. Sold out just about for tomorrow. Guess there's a little infield room space. Here's Rick Benjamin.
Well, Ken Squire, we're in the Bell South Pit Communications Center with a guy we weren't hoping to see until after the race, Steve Grissom, driver of the Channel Lock 31. What put you out today?
I guess we cut a right front tire down there just as we left the tri-oval, and was trying to turn. They don't turn too good without the right front tire.
You were giving us some great in-car shots. You were coming up through the field. You had to start last today. You had a good car on you, obviously.
Yeah, I tell you, this Channel Lock team, they've done a super job. It's first run with us, and since Diamond Ridge bought our team, Gary and Carolyn Beckler, I mean, they're super people, and Channel Lock, it's a great group of people to be with, and it was neat to be back in the car. We had a lot of fun. The car worked good. We just trying to get to the break and then race the second half of the race.
Well, you were missed in Busch Grand National for your brief time out of it. It's good to have you back in. What about tomorrow's event?
I'll tell you, I think our Diamond Ridge Chevrolet is running pretty good. We've been out this morning and practiced, and it seemed to be pretty good. We got one more shot at it, and if we don't get it messed up, hopefully we'll have fun again tomorrow.
We look for you to have a great run tomorrow on the Coca-Cola 600 here on TBS. Steve Grissom, thanks for stopping by to see us today. Randy Pemberton is also along pit road for us.
Well, Joe Nemechek out before the halfway mark. Started 4th, going to start 2nd tomorrow. But first of all, today, what'd you end up breaking? You got the valve covers off there.
It ended up breaking a valve spring. Bad culprit here at Charlotte. You know, you run between 7,000 and 8,000 RPMs all the time. It never comes below that, so it's real hard and strenuous on the motors. Can't say enough. You know, Synthos Chevrolet, running good. We're just cruising, getting kind of wild out there. That restart, I just said, let those guys go. I mean, they're just doing some crazy things, and I think there's, they don't start using their heads, there's going to be a few more of them for them.
Joe Nemechek out, and there seems to be problems for Michael Curtis Skinner right now. He was coming down the back straightaway, and it just cut out on him. He's coasted around and stopped just at the entrance of turn 4. How good is Mike Skinner? Ask the folks out in Carson City, Nevada, that used to watch him race back in the 80s. He ran 38 races there, and he won 17. Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, she ran awful good while she ran, Harry. Motor give up on you?
Yeah, it did. The Manham Chevrolet, boy, it ran good today. We started off with a slower pace just to size up the Goodyears versus Hoosier tires, and then as we ran longer, you know, it seemed like the Goodyear mark fell back, and then Nemechek, and it seemed like the Manheim car here would run longer than anybody on the tires, you know, so we started the second round there. We got to go in after the caution, and boy, it was just super. And I just set a pace and cruised around, and I see Mark coming up, but I figured he had a long way to go.
Well, we've really had some problems with engines and crashes here, but engines seem to be taking their toll even more than the wrecks. We'll be back with more from Charlotte after this.
Back with a lap complete under green. Martin in front, Michael Waltrip in second, and Phil Parsons into third. Holding fourth, Mike McLaughlin. Fifth is Earnhardt, and sixth is Schrader. So at the moment, Goodyear has the first and second position. Parsons on Hoosier stays in third. Taking a look at the Napa running order through the field now as we get down to the end of the first half of this race, Richard.
Yeah, they're all trying to get the very best they can get because we got, what, 3 or 4 more laps, and then they'll have them halfway, and then everybody will come in and recoup, go again. So they're trying to get their last little car length in right now.
Mark Martin has the advantage by 6 car lengths, and Michael Waltrip having a dandy race there in second spot.
Phil's the one that's really come on. He's been pretty regular all day long. He's run good, and he's stayed out of trouble so far. The car's handling good, the car's running good, and they made good pit stops to keep him up there.
Randy?
Well, believe it or not, guys, a dead battery on Mike Skinner's car. That's the culprit. Doesn't mean it's necessarily the battery's fault. Could be an electrical problem. But here's the problem. They didn't have another battery in the pit. They had to make a guy run all the way over to the Busch Series garage. There's where the hole is, behind the left rear tire. They take the battery out of there, all the left side weight. That's where they keep it in these cars. They're going to stick a battery in, but he's already about 5 laps down. Just a tough break for a guy that was doing an excellent job out there in the Champion 300.
Well, the skirmish continues for every position on the racetrack. '97 car, Joe Bessie, fought his way up to 9th now. Schrader's there right behind him on the inside. Incidentally, Randy LaJoie, 43 laps down. He was in there for 36 minutes. He's back out here fighting. He has 4 second places in Grand National races. This will not be a win for him today, but it could be key in his efforts to stay up in those Grand National point standings. Leaders, Martin to the stripe at halfway.
Right.
Last year's winner, Michael Waltrip, right there in second spot.
I've been sitting here and drove my man up to about, what we got, 6th place. Rodney got up to 6th place from 28th to 6th, and so far he's not being too spectacular, but he's still in there digging along, and he's missed all the wrecks, so they looking good right now.
Remember the old days when when you were winning all those races, and everybody said that if Richard Petty was in the lead lap, about halfway back in the lead lap, half distance in the event, you could pack up your toolkit and go home because he'd fly in the last. Is that what you're doing?
It was a different strategy then than it is now. Even though that looks like a good strategy today, but you know, used to you had 6, 8 cars that you had to worry about. So as long as you could keep them in sight, then you was in good shape. But now if you watch 6 or 8, there's going to be 8 or 10 that's going to beat you. So it's one of the kind of deals now. It's just the competition is so close, and in the Busch series and in the Winston series that it's really unreal.
44, Bobby Labonte is going back into the garage area.
That's Green? Who is that?
That's the 44 car just coming. David Green, I beg your pardon. David Green.
He's been running for points too, so he's out of it. This point standing is going to be a completely upside down deal when they get through with this race, because all the front runners have just been having trouble. So somebody's going to finish in there and change it around the right smart.
And as you know, these are the 4 non-counting laps. They can get back out and assume their positions. David Green going all the way back into the garage area. We'll see what the story is on him in just a moment. One at Bristol.
Here they all come down pit road now to decide what they're going to do.
Everybody coming in. David Green won that race at Bristol, Tennessee earlier this year.
And that's when Mark Martin decided he'd had enough laps. He stopped too early. I really felt for him on that deal.
And Tommy Houston found himself a second place that day. Tommy Houston, one of 23, if you're just joining us, that failed to qualify today. A lot of big names that didn't make the show.
I think he'd made it here like, what, 15 or 16 times in a row, and probably more than anybody in that series, and didn't even make the show.
Here's Dick Berggren.
Well, it's interesting. Mark Martin is in the pits, and his crew is rushing as if there's some sort of a hurry. There really isn't, because he can go right back out into his old position. They just can stay as long as they want, as long as they get back out on that racetrack before the 5 laps is over. They put 1 round of reg in. That's worth about 10 pounds, giving him a new radio. And Mark Martin's still sitting here in the pits. Randy Pemberton.
Well, Michael Waltrip is in. They're doing a little work on the inside of the car. I haven't got a word as exactly what they're doing. Michael brought the window net down. They've changed 4 tires on the Pennzoil Pontiac. I haven't got a chance to talk with the crew chief to find out how Michael's shoulder is doing, but we will update you on that in just a moment. He looks very calm, very collected in the car, so I think Michael Waltrip's doing just fine.
We are in caution. It's a 4-lap caution period. The pace car continues to stay out and circulate. We also have some equipment working down here in turn number 1, but they're counting it as the pace car comes around, driven by Elma Langley. Rodney Combs' best finish has been an 8th at Milwaukee in '93, and he's really looking good right now in 6th, probably because he knows the boss is sitting up on top, really keeping very close scrutiny on what he's doing.
Well, you got to figure, he's probably got more miles on this racetrack than anybody going, because he's been working with the school over here. And, you know, when they do that, then they got them extra laps that the average man don't have.
Back in a moment to Charlotte.
If you guessed Jeff today, Mike Skinner in the Kentucky Fried Chicken 88, evidently his problem's more than just a bad battery, as the Skinner crew, led by Gene Petty, pushes that Chevrolet back behind the garage area wall and out of the event today. Glad to have you with us here on TBS. About set to go green for the second half of our Champion Sparkplug 300 today at Charlotte Motor Speedway on TBS. Let's show you the Winn-Dixie mid-race report. To this point, we've had 8 lead changes. If you like competition, you couldn't ask for more than we've had here today. Lots of different drivers have been in the hunt since the green flag fell. 5 different leaders, an average speed pretty slow, 115 miles an hour, especially with that bad crash that sent Chad Little to the hospital earlier. 4 caution periods for 24 laps. We've got 13 cars out of the race, 29 left running. Here are some of the great stars who are not in the event. Now, Kenny Wallace, who was with us earlier, got summoned back to his car. They said it was ready to refire and go back into the chase, but we haven't seen the 8 car back in yet. There you see Chad Little among the others out. The leaders, Harry Gant early, then Martin, Nemechek, Gant again. Ken Schrader had a good run at the head of the class. Mike Skinner sat back from his pole run, then went to the front at lap 61. Gave way to Harry Gant for a good long time. Gant's motor gave up, and now the race is in the hands of Mark Martin. We'll see what he can do with it in the second half here today. He has solved his durability problems at this racetrack that we saw a couple of years ago. Won here 3 times in recent runnings. We'll see if he can do it again today. Ken Squire?
Okay, as we get set to go, you see Ricky Craven down on pit road, and they're administering some more tape. Going to stick that one back together to get it through the final half of the race. And directly behind him is that Randy LaJoie car that has been having such a good run in the points recently. And they're going to try to fire him up and get him back out. Again, Kenny Wallace, the point leader, the big victim thus far in this Champion Sparkplug 300. 4:30 tomorrow. TBS is on the air. 5 o'clock green flag. We're seeing Craven coming back out. We're a lap away from getting green. Observations on the first half of this thing, Richard?
Been interesting, hasn't it?
If you were out there, how would you have done?
Well, I'd have tried to miss all the wrecks, I guess, is about all they do. I think that really when the majority of the boys, they say, look, let's run the first half of the race and get our car tuned up and get the very best we can get out of it, then we'll go race in the second half. But that's the way I would look at it. But it looks to me like everybody's just running to try to win the first half of the thing, because it's been really competitive all the way through. I mean, 10th, 12th, 15th, it didn't matter where's they at. They was racing.
Dick Berggren has Mike Skinner alongside.
Well, nobody has to ask anymore, who is Mike Skinner? They sure know. What did finally put you out, though, Mike?
The battery in the Kentucky Fried Chicken Chevrolet Lumina went dead on us. We checked the alternator yesterday while we was going over the car, and everything checked out fine. We really felt our chances to have a good top 5 finish here was very possible for us at Charlotte, but unfortunately the alternator went out on the car and the battery went dead. And you know, we're sitting here 5 laps down, not racing for points or anything. All I can do is thank Kentucky Fried Chicken, Hoosier Tires, and Sickens Paint. All the people that worked on the car owner, the crew, we worked hard on this car, and I really appreciate everybody's help, and maybe when we come back to Charlotte, we can win this thing.
And didn't the driver do a good job, Ken Squire?
Oh, didn't he do a good job? Yeah, Mike Skinner is all right. You don't think he's all right? Well, let me tell you. You talk to the folks in Susanville, California, the old Susanville Raceway. 52 races. He won 40 of them. That was back in the late 70s.
All right.
Yes, sir. There are the point leader positions. You see Kenny Wallace out. Green in the car number 44. See him 27th currently. That's his second in points, 27th in the race. Ricky Craven still struggling out here. You see Sadler, Dotter, and the 20 car has come back out again. LaJoie, who's been holding on up there in the top 6.
Yeah, they just had to rebuild it. They tore all the sheet metal off, and like I said, they had to weld up stuff just to hold the radiator and things in the car. So you'll be out there just idling around, but you got to figure that, you know, a third of the field is already gone. And,
Richard, let's talk about who's going to start where out here.
Okay.
Get ready to go.
Yeah, we'll get another start.
Mark Martin is going to be up in front, and Michael Waltrip's going to be second. And Phil Parsons.
Mike can challenge a little bit. Michael can, but so far Mark's been the class of the field, I think, of the people that's left right now.
So Phil is third, and then McLaughlin is fourth, Earnhardt to fifth, and number 43, the Petty car, Rodney Combs in sixth. Ronald Cooper is seventh, Ernie Irvin is eighth. Joe Bessie is 9th. Ken Schrader is 10th. Elton Sawyer 11th. Followed by Johnny Benson. Tommy Ellis is 13th. Pace car's in. We're ready to get.
And here they come again. Mark got him another jump. The way he's going to go for a while here.
Boy, he got a good start.
Yeah, Ford's run pretty good. Yeah, they all got in line now. I don't know what's going to happen.
Coming around a complete lap 105 as they come by this time. Martin in first. Michael Waltrip right there. Trying to win it 2 years in a row.
You got to figure all of them just come out of the pits. They all got brand new tires. They've made their adjustments. So what they're running right now is as good as they're going to get. You know what I mean? The track's not changing that much. The way the weather's been today, it's been pretty consistent as far as not getting that much hotter because of the sun being out or anything. So if they can get the car to handle it, if it's handling right now, it'll handle the rest of the race.
At lap 120, they'll be within range to go home from there. There's Craven in the car number 2. Remember, he's running in 15th position at the present time. Ricky Craven, and he stays in the lead lap after he was part of that major altercation down here in turn number 1 that eliminated some 10 cars early on. Trying to get an update on Chad Little. It's believed he suffered a broken collarbone in that crash. Walked away from the car, then was overtaken by pain, taken to the infield hospital here, and now has been taken to the Cabarrus Hospital. Uncle Waltrip in second. 10 car lengths back from the leader.
Yep. Here's Parsons still right on his bumper, though. He's not letting him get away from it right now.
Point leader Kenny Wallace, who was seeking his first win of the '94 season and sure didn't get it. He's been out for a long time. There's an update on that Wallace story. Dick Bergman has it.
They're trying to get the car ready. Wallace is strapped in behind the wheel. They're getting ready to push the car out, Ken. What happened, they lost the freeze plug. The engine lost all its water, so the water temperature gauge looked fine, but the engine basically cooked one cylinder. So what they've done, they've taken the rocker arms off one of the cylinders. They're going to go out with 5 cylinders, and he's just going to ride around as long as he can before it blows up. And blow up, it almost certainly will.
And blow up or something is what number 43, Rodney Combs, slowing, coming onto pit road.
He's coming down pit road there for something. I don't see no smoke, but I don't know if it's running or not. It's not running in the right place, that's for sure. He's in the pit.
Running in 7th position when he comes into the pits. Meanwhile, battle on the racetrack. Take a look at Hermie Sadler down on the inside. The number 25 car. Tommy Ellis right there with him. They say the coil wire poured on the 43 car. You heard that song before, Richard?
Yeah, you name it, you sang it, I've heard it all, okay? 35 years of this stuff, they don't come with a whole lot of new things.
Name that too. 110 laps complete this time. Martin stays first, but Michael Waltrip is gathering him up. Bill Parsons stays third.
They're running pretty even right now. Nobody's really going off and leaving anybody. They're running just about the same, pretty consistent speeds with each other. And the first 3 have went off and left the 4th place man, so they've got a pretty good lead on Irwin right now, but I think he's coming on up through there because he's past McLaughlin. Earnhardt's just hanging on back there. Ernie looks pretty good right now.
Yeah,
right in there.
Ernie Irvin does look good. He's fourth. He's moved around McLaughlin, found himself a spot. McLaughlin fifth, Earnhardt sixth, Schrader seventh, Elton Sawyer eighth, Ronald Cooper, Tommy Ellis rounding out the top 10. Second spot right there, Michael Waltrip, trying to be the first guy to win it back-to-back 2 years in a row. And Phil Parsons staying with him with another very smooth ride. Phil Parsons, originally out of Detroit, now out of Denver, North Carolina, in the White Rose Chevrolet. Giving that one a very smooth go, this car number 29. Coming around for 113. Interval stays about 8-9 car lengths between Martin in first, Michael Waltrip in second, and it's pretty good distance.
Here we're going to get the ride in here and see what's going on.
Back to
it's pretty interesting right here.
That's Ricky Craven giving you those shots in that DuPont car.
He's running on pretty good. You know, I guess he's got about 400 gallons of tape on the front of that thing to hold it together, but. You know, looks like the car's working good, and he's right in there.
Yeah, he's in 12th position.
Yeah, he never did get lapped, so you know he's been pretty lucky with all the pit stops. He must have made a record pit stops.
This could be a big moment for him with Kenny Wallace down. Taking a look from the in-car.
Yeah, from the point stand, and you know he could come out of this pretty good because most everybody that's in the top 8 or 10 in the point stand has had trouble.
Tomorrow's pole sitter, Jeff Gordon, is spotting for Ricky Craven today.
The things that he reports to me, I understand, and when I communicate back to him, he understands. That's something that's a little bit hard to get between the crew and the driver. Most of these guys haven't driven race cars. They certainly haven't driven at Charlotte. So he's going to be talking that talk, and I'm going to be listening. And then if things work out and he needs my help Sunday, I'll return the favor.
Sounds like a couple of young guys trying to get each other up on top.
Both of them are trying to get it together. Both of them are young. They got a lot of experience behind them, but they hadn't got the Winston Cup experience. And Ricky's trying to get it in the Busch series. So you know they work together. Right now they're not competing with each other, so it makes it easier for them to work together.
Well, this will be a tremendous boost for Craven with those 2 victories. You mentioned earlier that Wallace had held the point lead coming into today, and he held it without having scored a win. David Green had 1 victory. Craven has picked up 2. He's getting stronger right now as he stays in 12th position at the present time, and they're showing that number 44 car of Green back in 28th spot. So that, as you were saying, that can really churn those point standings.
It doesn't take much. You know, 50 points or 25 or 100 points can come easy, or you can lose them hard any way you want to do it. But everybody runs all the races and stuff, and then if you miss a race or like you say, you have trouble, especially early in a race, it really gets you down. It makes you feel bad.
Battle for second spot. There's Phil Parsons.
They're all holding their own. They just look like Martin might be beating them about half a car length a lap or something like that. But the two that's running for second and third there, they've not made a lot of difference. They're about within 2 car lengths of each other. They've been that way, you know, for the last 10 to 12 laps.
Interesting story on Michael Waltrip's car. This is the same car he won this race with last year. He was second with this race in the fall of last year, second in the race in the fall of '92 with the same car. But it's an old car. It was built in 1990. Are you ready for this? To replace the car that Michael Waltrip completely destroyed by running it into the wall at Bristol. So good things came of that horrible, horrible afternoon.
that was just about one of the worst things I've ever seen.
That was about
Bristol crash.
That was bad. I've never seen one come apart like that. Not a Winston Cup car or a Grand National car come apart like that before.
Well, to see the guy sitting on the ground and still in the car.
Yeah. Oh, unreal. Ernie's cutting them down a little at a time. It's a little slow, but he's gaining on them.
Putting a lap on LaJoy, and take a look at LaJoy. Doesn't that look like the hobby division, Caraway Speedway there on the inside?
Looked like he got under him. Parsons got under him when he come up on that slow car there.
Good move by Phil Parsons. Rock solid. So Phil Parsons picks him up second position. That at lap 121. And about a lap or two, Kenny Wallace came out, and he is back again to the garage. That's not going to work. So the first and second place guys in the points are both sitting this dance out.
Yeah, that makes it tough on them, and makes the ones that are still out there feel that much better that they've always got that chance. But, you know, you got to figure they've not run to 8 or 10, 12 races, whatever they run. They still got a long way to go in that point standing, but you need to get every point you can now, because it counts just as much at the end of the season as it does now.
We'll talk about that Grand National schedule a bit more shortly here. We got another report from Ramby Pemberton.
Back in the Winston Cup garage area, all kinds of drivers standing on the rigs, taking a look at the action, getting ready for tomorrow's Coca-Cola 600. Ted Musgrave, of course, the teammate of Mark Martin. He will start 42nd tomorrow, and we'll be back at Charlotte in a moment.
And Mark Martin showing the way here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway in the Champion Sparkplug 300. About 75 laps left. Mark Martin trying to hang on. He's got a great field behind him. Phil Parsons with a good run going in second. Michael Waltrip is third, as we're well into the second half of today's event. Lots of folks very interested, of course, in what's going to happen tomorrow for the Coca-Cola 600 here on TBS. A guy who should know better than anyone, legendary driver, now car owner, Junior Johnson. Good to have you with us today.
Thank you. Glad to be here.
You've got two cars in the field tomorrow. What do you look for when we put this thing under green at 5 o'clock in the afternoon?
Well, I think if you run real good tomorrow afternoon, when the sun goes down, the lights come on, you're going to have probably a little chassis adjustment you're going to have to turn to, and you better know what that is, because that's what everybody's been here, you know, testing and trying to figure out. If you don't hit the right combination when dark comes, you're out to lunch the rest of the race.
Now, you're normally known, your team is, for quiet efficiency and running up front all the time. All of a sudden, with Jimmy Spencer, you find yourself in the midst of a lot of controversy, I think. Is he still your kind of race driver?
Yeah, he is, and everybody thinks that Jimmy's out there just running over people, but it's not that. That's not the case. He's a hard race driver, and when you're racing people as close as the competition is today, you get together a little bit now and then. For instance, at Talladega, there was probably a worse wreck before Jimmy and them boys got together and they had that license there. Nobody said anything about it. It's just that Jimmy's so aggressive. He brings controversy along with him, but that's going to stay. I intend to keep that in him, and we're just going to work him, you know, to where he's perfected and he makes a real race driver. I'm not going to try to take away Jimmy Spencer's charging effect, and I intend to keep that in him, and I keep pushing him.
A guy who certainly can work with a driver like Jimmy Spencer to polish him up and get him into victory lane, Junior Johnson. Two cars in the field. Of course, Bill Elliott, his other driver tomorrow.
Now, there are some other car owners like to polish him up, too, as I understand it, Richard. Take a look tomorrow.
About 10 of them looking for him at Talladega.
4:30 tomorrow. We'll be on the air, and 5 o'clock they'll drop the green on the 35th annual Coca-Cola 600 from the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Well, as things now proceed, we have Mark Martin for the lead, and right there in second is Phil Parsons closing in again. There's Martin in front. We've been watching the number 74 car hanging out in the middle of those front runners, but it is a lap down. The Staff America car is actually running back in 20th position at this time. Johnny Benson Jr., who was hoping to have a better day with that Staff American, just not working out for him at all. Found himself out of that lead lap before mid-distance. Now you're riding with Ricky Craven. He stays in the lead lap, stays in 12th position at the present time. Continues to work on Ronald Cooper.
Yeah, they've been having pretty good racing there for a pretty good while. There's 5 or 6 cars that run just about the same speed, and nobody's going anywhere except they're all going together.
take a look at this struggle. There's Michael Waltrip, who's fallen back to third with Phil Parsons second, and Ernie Urban in the 28, challenging on the inside. Say goodnight.
Ernie didn't challenge. He just pulled out and went on. That wasn't a challenge.
See you.
But, you know, I told you, he'd been coming along pretty good anyway.
Talking about the battle royal that's going to continue here in the Busch Grand National Point Standings. Coming up June the 4th, they're going to be in Dover, Delaware. Saturday for the Good Ranch 200. Then Saturday, June 11th, they'll be at Myrtle Beach, South Carolina. Take a look at this one. There you see old Magic Shoes McLaughlin holding off Missouri's Ken Schrader. That's a fight for fifth.
We've got some pretty good races around the racetrack, just a couple cars at a time, but, you know, they're really racing for position, racing for first and second, third and fourth, fifth and sixth, you know. And I think they're getting ready one for seventh and eighth back here, too.
Schrader going up on the outside. There's Green in the 44, just in front. Trying to get something going to keep himself in that point battle. Owensboro, Kentucky runner. He's a good driver.
Schrader won that. Oh, I told you he's going to get close in there.
He and Alton Sawyer at it for 38. That's for seventh position.
Earnhardt got away from him a little bit there. Elton's thinking about it. He's going to come back though.
Leaders in traffic. Around Barrett in the 91. Mark Martin, and with him Phil Parsons. Making their way by Tim Fedowa. Remember, he's up in the points too. 10th going into today. What's happened to those leaders?
Yeah, he had to take an alternate starting position to get in the race.
One of the four. Review a little further down the field for you. In 8th at the moment is Sawyer. 9th is Ellis. 10th is Roy Payne. Roy Payne, that car that Donnie Allison's been working so hard on. Ronald Cooper's back in 11th. Raven is 12th. Joe Bessie is in 13th, and one lap down is Robert Presley, 14th.
So we got 13 cars in the same lap, right?
Yep.
Okay.
So Martin continues to draw a bead on another victory here. Won last October on this track.
There comes Elton back at Earnhardt there. They've been having a good race for the last 10, 12 laps.
Earnhardt seems willing to use up a little more of the outside of that racetrack than earlier, Richard.
Well, yeah, he's getting through the corner a little bit better.
Ah, look at this struggle.
Yeah, this is for first place, guys.
Trying to put a lap on Bobby Doddard. And Phil Parsons is going to take the lead. How about that one?
Yeah, this is the first time he's led, I think.
Last time that Phil led a race was at Dover last June. Phil Parsons moving in front of Mark Martin with Ernie Irvin third, Michael Waltrip fourth, Schrader in fifth, McLaughlin sixth. Phil Parsons is one of those drivers who has seen star-crossed, but at the moment the stars are all his on this one. 4-star performance as we wend our way into the final moments of the champion Sparkplug 300. From the Ravestas platform high above the Speedway, these shots will be back in a moment.
The champion.
On the Sears Craftsman calendar, upcoming TBS Winston Cup races, Pocono coming up on Sunday, July the 17th. September the 10th, that great Richmond, Virginia, the old fairgrounds, all sparkling these days under the lights for that one. Saturday night, the Miller Genuine Draft 400. October the 9th, right back here at Charlotte, North Carolina, the Mellow Yellow 500. 144 laps are complete at Charlotte on this Saturday of this Memorial Weekend, and Ernie Irvin is off the pace. Ernie Irvin running third. Mac Tool's car coming in.
Yeah, they've been starting to get away from him, so the thing must have started slowing down before he did blow up. They've had a flat tire there, hadn't they?
Yeah, they got that all chewed up.
Yeah, man. And used that nut. But anyhow, he done started slowing down, so I guess the tire probably had been going down. I've been giving trouble anyway.
Leaders coming into traffic.
Okay, so that puts him a lap down.
Here's Ricky Craven giving us these shots. 15 seconds. Ernie Irvan in the pits and back out. And there goes the leader putting a lap on the 12th place man. Actually now 11th with that pit stop by Ernie Irvan. 11th place going to Craven. And he is just lapped by Phil Parsons. Randy Pemberton is with the leader's crew chief.
Well, Mark Conley's got stopwatches. Blair, you've got stopwatches going like crazy. He's doing a heck of a job out there.
He sure is, but it's no surprise.
52. Schrader.
That's Box Right World's collectible race team. We've come over here, we tested fine, we practiced fine, we qualified good, and now we're just running good. So if we could just get one good quick stop here, about 30 more laps, on in the finish we go.
As Phil Parsons comes around, 4th place car, Ken Schrader. That one slows down. He slowed down going into turn 3. Let's see if he'll make the turn back into the garage or if he's going to try to bring it back out. The AC Delco car out of the race.
Made a good call right there.
That wasn't. I was playing it either way.
Yeah, I know. You had him going all the way to the gate.
So now,
yeah, that's a shame because he's run good from the word go. Started way in the back, and worked his way up to being a competitor, and then stuff like that happened.
From 35th position came Schrader to be up there among the top 4 and 5. First to second is now 1 9/10 of a second. Let's see if we can get a report as to what happened to Ernie Irvan's car out there.
Well, it's pretty graphically visual as to what happened to Ernie Irvan's car, Ken. He cut the tire. You can see a slicing right in the top of the tire. No surprise with all the debris that has fallen on the racetrack with all the crashes we've had. Once the tire was cut, it just came apart.
So Ernie Irvan's bid get himself a victory here. Over 149 complete, coming up on 150 now. Leaders taking 150. Parsons, Martin, Waltrip, McLaughlin, Earnhardt across the line. In 6th spot remains Tommy Ellis, 7th Roy Payne, Joe Bessie is 8th, Ricky Craven comes to 9th as the attrition begins to tell the story here.
Yeah, I think we got, what, first 8 cars still on the same lap.
Yep.
Ricky is 9th. He's the first one a lap down. Of course, Ernie lost that lap not by running. He had to make an extra pit stop. So we got to see now everybody else is going to have to make a pit stop. So they might could balance that out if that happened and then they had a caution. Then Ernie might not be in that bad a shape.
200 laps the mark, and at 150, as you take a look at the Napa rundown, there you see Earnhardt. Review back for you your favorites in this event. Pretty good crowd out today. Expect a great crowd tomorrow. Post time is 5 o'clock. 4:30, TBS will be on the air. 74 continuing to fall back. It's John Benson having his problems. And trying to get a lap back right now. All he needs is a little caution assistance. Ernie Irvan will be a player another time.
Well, it could be. You know, if everybody else gets to stop before they have a caution, then yeah, he'd be a player again.
Gets around Ellis in the 05, tears by McLaughlin.
But they've really got everybody separated right now.
But remember, Irvan is 12th, Richard.
I know he's still, like I say, he's just a lap down. So you can't count him out yet. It's just according to how the race unfolds in front of him. If it unfolds right, then he makes his lap up. If it doesn't, he's going to wind up being a lap down.
Chesapeake, Virginia's Elton Sawyer back on pit road as Tommy Ellis. Too much racing against Tommy Ellis. He ran so many short tracks. King of Richmond races there.
Yeah, we used to run against him. He used to come and run Winston Cup races from time to time, and then he tried to run, 2 or 3 years and stuff. And so we've run a lot of races against Tommy.
Tough guy, isn't he?
Oh, he's tough. There's no doubt about that. Probably ain't as tough now as he used to be, but he's still pretty tough.
Yeah, he's smoothed over a little, but he gets in that
age to take care of that. Some of them scars upside your head take care of it.
Well, look at Parsons as he cuts a fine path around this 1.5 miles. It's now 2 4/10 seconds. And Phil Parsons is serious about trying to win the $320,000 Champion Spark Plug 300. Prelude to the Coca-Cola 600. tomorrow, the 35th annual. It's here on TBS. You've got young Jeff Gordon at 22 and Nemechek in the front row. More about that story for tomorrow a bit later. We'll take a quick break and be right back to Charlotte. Pit road is where the activity is at this moment. The leader, Phil Parsons, Mark Martin, Michael Waltrip coming in. Tommy Ellis making his pit stop. There was one pit stop on this final part of the race, and Earnhardt got trapped, Richard.
Yeah, well, not trapped. Like you say, what he did, he made his decision that they didn't have the 48 laps to go or whatever it was here, and he says 42 laps, whatever, and he says, okay, let's go ahead and get the new tires on, and we got the rest of the race to run. Just as he come down pit road and they jack the car up, then McLaughlin spins, and then there calls a caution, and then he's sitting there a lap behind.
So you're watching those Hoosier tires being strapped onto car number 29, Phil Parsons, leading with that rubber. Goodyear's been running in second and third with Mark Martin and Michael Waltrip. Here's Phil coming back out again.
Yeah, well, they beat him out. Mark is first now, or in front of the 30 car, and then they lost a little bit more time in the pit. I don't know whether they changed 4 tires.
1:58 complete. That was a bad pit stop on Parsons. That was like 36 seconds, Richard.
Sound like me and you changing tires, right?
That's like before the 60. They had trouble in the right rear. Something was amiss on Phil Parsons' stop. That's hurt him. We'll review the standings for you. Rest of the field coming in. Craven is now making his way onto pit road. Larry Pearson's in. Rest of the field. Hey, what's your prediction for tomorrow on the 500? Your young driver...
600 tomorrow.
I'm sorry, 600 tomorrow. Your young driver, Dallenbach's coming right along.
He's been doing good the last 3 or 4 races. He's really run good, and we think we're getting some stuff going. We think that we're thinking more about winning. He's thinking more about winning. The crew is, it's the kind of deal that, I think he stepped up a couple of weeks ago at Talladega, and then he actually been good in California, and then I thought he went good last weekend. And that makes the crew work a little bit more. Even though they think they're doing 100%, all of a sudden they're doing just a little bit more and doing those extra things. So right now they feel in pretty good shape with him.
Watching Ricky Craven here as he comes back out. He has great aspirations for Winston Cup, has his own team. Richard, a team has to learn to win all over again, don't they, after it stepped away in one of those cycles?
It's a kind of a deal. Like, we've got a team now that, there's not the 3 or 4 boys that work for me that's ever worked on a Winston Cup win. And, our driver's never won one, so Wally's never won, so he doesn't know how that feel is. So they're going to have to win one to get that feel, and then they can go from there.
Let's have a look-see at what happened over here in turn 4 to Mike McLaughlin in car number 34. That caused this caution, which would be the 6th of the day.
And the car just took off. I don't know where it bottomed out or what. I didn't see no sparks, but I don't think he had a flat tire. It just looked like the car made a little bit deal breaking loose, and he corrected, and then he got behind. It ain't hard to do.
Particularly in that 4th corner.
And he's got them rear wheels, front wheels locked up, and the rear ones are still spinning, man. Done a good job. Done a real good job. That plus a lot of luck.
They say they had one going soft.
Yeah,
That's the report.
I think that's what happened. That's what it looked like. Because he'd been going in there and the car sticking. All of a sudden it moves around a little bit.
So McLaughlin's back out again. He's given us a caution. Let's everybody come in, and we'll be back with more from Charlotte after this. Caution is back on the Speedway. They were just about ready to turn them loose. They've decided to give them another lap of yellow. They had them lined up 3 and 4 wide behind the pace car for a moment. We have completed 162 laps as they come back to the line. Race is over today. Richard, you and I've got an opportunity, based upon what we've seen, for the best pit stop to make a donation on behalf of Advance Auto and TBS Sports to the Make-A-Wish Foundation of America. And I know that's something that you've had a lot of opportunity to do a few things with.
Oh, yeah. We work with those people, and,
and think a lot of
different things. And
so keep your eye out.
A lot of the drivers do that.
Keep your eye out for good pit stops. Let's get down to the pit center quickly.
Gentlemen, we've got one of the great stories in racing in many, many years. I'm joined by John Andretti and his wife, Nancy. We're going to try what many people thought would be an unbelievable double for you this weekend. How's it going so far? You ran a test run, I understand, today.
Well, we did. We got on the Canadair Challenger in Mount Comfort Airport in Indianapolis, and we got on the helicopter and helicopter to the outside. Only part of it is a as a test run, but we just wanted to do the transfer from the plane to the helicopter to see if we could speed it up or do anything different, and that's what we're finding out today.
How do you feel about what he's going to try to do tomorrow, run 1,100 miles, the two greatest races in America?
I think it's great. I know he can do it. He's a good driver, has a lot of endurance, and I think it's great. Great accomplishment.
One of the most fantastic achievements I think we've seen in the sport in a long time, being the top 10 qualifying for the Indy 500 and the World 600, the Coke 600. How did you feel about that when you realized it had happened?
Well, I think at Indianapolis it wasn't as big a surprise for sure as it was when I came down here to do the Winston Cup and qualifying the top 10 for the first time, and it was a real important race for me. I was more worried about making it than anything else, and then lo and behold, there we are, ninth.
Well, you're doing a great job in the Billy Hagan car in this sport, and we wish you well in A.J. Foyt's car tomorrow. We'll talk to you when you get here tomorrow.
Well, I don't know if you have time, but
after the race.
Okay.
John and Nancy Andretti with us in the pit center. Back to racing, Ken.
Of course, he's all dressed and ready to go out for that final happy hour, that final practice session for the Winston Cup. We're down to it now, 163 complete. You saw the restart, and you're seeing Earnhardt in that number 3 car, a lap down, as is Ernie Irvan in the 28 car. They sort him out.
Yeah, they got Parsons kind of boxed in back there, and they're not letting him up there to the front.
And Parsons is in 5th spot. There's Earnhardt down to the inside. He moves under Ricky Craven. Craven, the 6th place car. Craven, if he stays out here in the top 9, he's going to move up in front in the Grand National points. Mark Martin, for the moment, stays first. Michael Waltrip in 2nd. Ellis 3rd. Roy Payne is having just a great day in 4th. And Phil Parsons in 5th. Now, here's Parsons getting under Roy Payne, and he takes that spot back.
Yeah, I think Roy got in the wall that time. He got up a little bit high. Yeah.
There you see the Parsons car, number 29. He's back into the 4th position. Around Tommy Ellis they move. And there you see Payne in that car. That's the best ride he's had in Grand National racing. He's doing a great job today.
Backed her out pretty good.
Connie Allison, boss wrench on that car, working with Payne, bringing him along. He's doing a fine job.
That field is strong because he come right through that crowd, come right on up there. So
and just in front of him, you see the 29.
Yeah, he goes.
Bill Parsons. Now Tommy Ellis. The 05 of Ellis. Also being shown in that lead lap. Going to put him up to 4th position.
Yeah, Payne's working on him, so they got a good little race going there too.
Back in the old sportsman days, Tommy Ellis used to come down and run this race. There's Earnhardt. He's a lap back. So we remain with, I think we're showing 5 cars in the lead lap now. Martin 1st, Michael Waltrip 2nd, Parsons 3rd, Tommy Ellis 4th, Roy Payne 5th. Here's Dick Berger.
Well, Phil Parsons went into that last round of pit stops leading Ken Squire, but he wound up back in 5th spot when they dropped the green flag. The problem was an air gun jammed on the car. Mark Martin is in the lead. They had a perfect pit stop, made a minor adjustment in the car, but they're worried about the Hoosier tires. They say Hoosier's got a great tire. Parsons is on them. He is closing on Michael Waltrip's number 30.
Well, there you see Phil Parsons. Right there. Here comes Ernie Irvan. Remember, he's a lap back on the outside. But the real story here is that 30 and the 29 running in tandem are running down leader Mark Martin. They have 170 laps in the book, Richard, when they come around this time.
Yeah, they're going to make some moves. They better start doing it now, and that's what the 29 is trying to do. But Ernie's a lap down, still trying to race with him.
Earnhardt, the number 3, comes back on pit road. Running 7th, Earnhardt back again, and he may be retiring. End of the day for Dale Earnhardt. The 1983 and 91 winner takes it in, gone. Now look at Parsons taking those Hoosier tires down to the inside, driving beneath the number 30, Michael Waltrip, as he goes head hunting for Mark Martin. Head of the field, Mark Martin on those Goodyear tires. Phil Parsons on Hoosier. Parsons trailing by what, Richard?
1.95 seconds.
Hey.
Right at 2 seconds. So we were just going to check out and see if he's gaining anything now that he's got by those the second, third place car there, the third place car.
Take a look at the interval here as you watch Martin come by in the 60 with that Ford and then the Chevy of Phil Parsons. Hoosier won the All-Star race a week ago. Parsons on Hoosier, trying to give them another victory here at Charlotte. Goodyear with Mark Martin. Shot on that tire that's won everything over the past 2 or 3 decades since Firestone left. Staying right out there. I understand Firestone is getting ready. They talking to you folks?
No, I don't think they said anything about the Winston Cup. I know they're running a lot of Indy cars, doing a lot of testing in it. They said they're going to test all this year, and hopefully they'd have something to come back and run with them next year.
Parsons cuts it to what?
1.63. Okay.
Boy, he's really coming on.
That's about 21/100ths a lap if it continues to do that. We'll keep a check on it and see what he's doing.
How many laps can you get out of these tires, those Goodyears, before they begin to...
Well, you know, all the tires fall off, and it's just the deal of how quick they fall off. Some of them fall off quicker than others. That's the deal, is having the car set up where you know the tires are going to fall off. You just don't want yours to fall off as quick as everyone else's. And cut that back with him. He's still gaining on it.
Take a look at this running order as you watch Mark Martin in first, and here comes that second place runner, Phil Parsons. Let's go to Dick Berggren.
Well, Dale Earnhardt behind the wall in the garage. What happened to her?
Well, valve spring broke a couple laps ago, and I was just going to try to baby it, but it started fluttering a little worse than I wanted it to. And I didn't want to destroy the engine and cause a mess out there, so we just brought the Jim Goodrich Chevrolet in. So, you know, it's one of them days, one of them deals.
They also lost an engine in practice.
Bad day for Earnhardt. Looking for much better things tomorrow. Coca-Cola 600 commences at 5. We'll be with you at 4:30 in the afternoon here on TBS. Continuing to close down. Parsons moving up on Martin for the conclusion of the Champion Spark Plug 300 here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Getting ready to shoot it out at the finish here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway and the Champion Spark Plug 300. We look down from on high in turn 4. Mark Martin and Phil Parsons showing the way with about 20-25 laps to go. We're really getting close to the end. One more reminder for you today from the Bell South Pit Communications Center. If you're planning to travel to a new racetrack this year, or maybe an old favorite of yours, you'll want to pick up one of these, the official directory of the NASCAR Winston Cup Series. $24.95. There's the number to call. 1-800-RACE-345. We'll get you a copy of this brand new official directory. All the information you need from all the racetracks around the country that host the NASCAR Winston Cup Series as you make your plans. Ken Squire looks like a great battle for the lead here.
Making his plans to go into first place. That Hoosier shod car, number 29, blocked by Mark Martin, back to the inside. They bump as they come down the main straightaway. It's Parsons in the 29, right on top of Mark Martin. Goodyear running first.
Now,
Hoosier running second.
18 laps to go. If you're going to do it, they got to do it now, you know. Ernie's keeping up with them, but he's a lap down.
We're going to stay with it right to the end unless there is a caution. We're at lap 182. Here comes Parsons trying to slip back to the inside on Martin. Got it. It's Parsons to first. Ernie Irvan lap down, also comes up through. Mark Martin falls to second. Michael Waltrip's in third. So it's Hoosier in first, Goodyear in second and third, Hoosier in fourth and fifth. And the way they stand, Parsons first, Martin second, Michael Waltrip third, Tommy Ellis, Roy Payne, top 5.
They're all in the same lap. Everybody else is a lap down.
Look at 29, just blowing the rest of the field away now.
Yeah, Mark run just as hard as he could for as long as he could, and then once he caught up with him, he just sort of hanging on now, hoping the race will go ahead and get over with.
184 complete.
Ernie's hanging in there pretty good. He's been running with them all the way through.
So is Roy Payne in fourth. Best finish to date, 9th at Myrtle Beach. Last year, he's failed to qualify for 4 races this year. But what a day he's having here at Charlotte. Back to the leader. Bill Parsons stays first in that Chevrolet. Came out of the 12th position this afternoon. Has gone up and run with anyone that needed to be run with for the lead, Richard. What a great run he's having.
He's run a good, steady race. Like I say, he's not really racing with anybody, because when he caught up with him, he just pulled out and went on. So he's just, everything looked like it's really clicking today, except when they did make the pit stop. That put him behind. And, you know, he got back to 5th or 6th place, and then he had to go back and catch it all up.
You know, we talked earlier about when he won back in '82, the only Grand National race he ever won. Do you ever, I'm sure, you know, with all those, Johnny Hayes owned that car.
Oh, me.
It was a Pontiac.
Yeah.
And Hayes owned it.
Yeah, but after that, he gave up on the car. All right. Looks like that Ellis is catching Wallace a little bit right here. Getting right down to the end of the line here.
Yeah, Tommy Ellis back in 4th spot in the 05 is trying to catch the 30 here before it's done, and it's done in 13 laps. Meanwhile, Phil Parsons has them covered, and it stay together. He's had so much misfortune, so much ill luck. Interval first to second, 2 3/10 of a second.
Yeah, he's driving away pretty easy now. All he's like to say, if he can just stay out of trouble, then that part of the race part is over with. And I think Mark's doing the same thing. I think he's saying, okay, nothing I can do to catch up. Just hope nobody catches me from behind.
That must build your confidence level. Take a look at this battle. There's the 30. Michael Waltrip, last year's winner, and here comes Tommy Ellis tearing after it.
Yeah, I think Tommy's out handling him in the corner now, so it's just a matter of time before he's going to wind up getting by him and going on from there.
10 to go the next time by for Phil Parsons. 10 to go. 10 laps for Tommy Ellis to see if he can squeeze the second place out of this $320,000 champion Spark Plug 300 at the Charlotte Motor Speedway.
Yeah, this is the race on the racetrack right now, but looks like Tommy can really get him going in the corner. Michael comes off the corner good, but Tommy can really get in the corner.
A lot of that Tommy Ellis style reminds me so much of Cale Yarborough, even the way he looks when he's driving.
He just sets in
the
car like that. All you see is the top of his head, right?
You don't want to pat him, I'll tell you, because that's a tiger in there right now. He'll chew your arm off. Tommy Ellis going after Michael Waltrip. With 9 laps to go, here comes the 05.
You bet both of them doing everything they can to try to stay where they're at.
The Curtis Key Chevrolet of Tommy Ellis. With Hoosier tires strapped on, going for 3rd spot. Mark Martin stays in 2nd, and Phil Parsons. I suppose you're mentioning to him on the radio just how well he's doing and how smoothly it's going and keeping his confidence up.
When they get this far, they say, hey, man, don't blow it from here. You've just got this far. You know, don't do one of your usual things and cause trouble.
05, Bobby Dotter dumping water. He's running back in 14th spot. He's a couple of laps down. Just to add to the drama a bit with 7 to go for Phil Parsons.
Yeah, it looks like we're separating 2nd, 3rd, and 4th place, man. Looks like Michael's getting away from Tommy a little bit right now.
You've broken just about everything. When you break a shoulder blade, I always thought that was pretty hurting stuff.
Well, it's according to how it's broke. You know, this year was, he said, was just broke right down the middle of the thing, and as long as it doesn't separate, it doesn't tear any of the muscles and stuff like that. It's sore naturally, but you know, big deal. If he doesn't have any problem with it as far as knocking it out of joint anymore, then he'll be okay.
Yep. He sure doesn't want to run into anything.
He's tough. You know, you just tell him, he just got to tell himself how tough he is and just go out there and do it. And I think a lot of times what makes it work is a challenge that you say, hey, I can do it. Maybe that cat next door can't do it, but I can do it.
Richard, NASCAR is watching that Bobby Dotter car very carefully. They say it may be the rear end. They may bring him in. Doesn't appear to be water, but there is something amiss on 05, and it's a bit of a concern. So they've notified around the racetrack, and they're really keeping a close watch on the 14th position car of Bobby Dotter. Tommy Ellis in the 0. That's 08 that's dropping water, and now they're saying 05.
05's dropping water?
It's going to be dropping water or oil as well.
Okay,
Dotter and Ellis.
Okay, maybe that's the reason, because Ellis caught Walter real fast there, and then all of a sudden he's falling right real quick right now.
Ooh, and all of a sudden that car just said goodnight. Ellis's car going into turn 1, slowing down on the bottom of the racetrack. About to dip below the line. We could hear it shut down as it came by.
That's where it really, really hurts, to run that long, that fast, and that good, and have a chance to, finish 3rd or 4th, and then blow up with 3 or 4 laps to go.
It's going to blow up. You want it to blow up early so you don't get stuck in traffic.
Then the driver don't get tired.
You don't want to get stuck in that traffic.
The car owner likes it because you save tires and all that stuff, so, you're going to blow, do it early.
Rear end here, they're saying, Richard.
Once you run this far, it's cost you the same whether you finish or not. So then you lose all that money, and it makes it tough.
Final laps underway, and Phil Parsons having a day. There he is around Dotter. It's Parsons in first. Incidentally, the 2 car of Ricky Craven, which had been running up as far as 6, has fallen back to 10th. Something's amiss on his car, but he's still up in the top 10, and he's going to take the lead in the Busch Grand National standings based upon his performance today. Oh, that's a hard sight to watch, is Tommy Ellis, who just bore down through this whole thing, drove so smoothly, and the car's not going to go the distance by about 4 laps on pit road. Parsons staying first, Mark Martin second, Michael Waltrip back to 3rd, Roy Payne up to 4th. Decent celebrating with that team.
Yeah, you talk to Parsons when the race is over, and he'll talk about how good a race it was because he won the race. But he's done a super job of just staying out of trouble and doing what he needed to do.
And if you play the numbers, no car 29 has ever won a Busch Series race, they say.
The number?
Yeah, the number.
Is it? All right, how about that? Well, it looks like it's got a good chance today.
That's right. Getting ready, white flag out. And what a celebration this is going to be for the Parsons family. Phil Parsons, who has certainly had everything go wrong in his career that could, is putting it together with a perfect afternoon here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. About to close this one out. White Rose Chevy. And for Hoosier, their second win, they took the big one the other night. And now here comes Phil Parsons. Ernie Irvin is running a lap back in 5th as we get ready to decide this one. The checker is down, and Phil Parsons is successful. His first win in Grand National Racing since '82, and he drove a heady, bright race, got a lot of good work in the pits. He had one lengthy pit stop, but he was able to come back out, make it up, and take the victory by 10 seconds, Richard.
A little
Pretty
over
good
10
run.
seconds, yeah. Like I say, once he caught Mark, he just checked on out of here, But Mark had slowed back down, and I guess he'd done everything he could and used his tires up and used himself up.
We'll take a commercial and then head for Victory Lane and meet Phil Parsons, winner of the Champion Sparkplug 300.
The real story.
So the crowd settling down after an exciting afternoon of racing. I think all of them want to be here to hear what Phil Parsons has to say after his wonderful victory here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. And our Victory Lane is being presented today by Purelator. Let's join Dr. Dick Bergman.
An upset victory it is. Phil Parsons, how did you whip all those heavy favorites?
I don't call it an upset. I've raced with those guys a long time, and I beat every one of them on many occasions. But I'll tell you, let me thank the good Lord first. You wonder sometimes where you're supposed to be, and I got shuffled out of the Winston Cup circuit and said, Lord, where do you want me? And he said, I think he said, put a Busch car out there, show them what you can do. We've done that, but we hadn't had the luck. Today we had the luck. We had this great these Hoosier tires were terrific. The longer we ran, the better they went. We wasn't going to change in the last segment. We had to put gas in it. Carl Wagner built us a super motor. The thing purred like a kitten. Can't thank him enough. We had some trouble this year, and he bounced right back. And
How about my crew, huh? How about my guys?
How about that pit stop? What happened on that pit stop when you got shuffled back?
Well, those things happen. We wanted to make it a little bit exciting anyway. You know, we knew we had the best car, so, you know, we wanted to pass a few guys. I want to thank my wife. She owns this car. I want to thank her for letting me drive it. She fired me one time, you know, I told you earlier. And I want to thank her. I want to thank, you know, all my guys, my parents, everyone that caused me to be here. I'll tell you, you know, I won Talladega a few years ago. This is a bigger day than that because at that time I was on my way up. This time I'm on the outside of the fence looking in. I'm trying to get back across the fence. Maybe somebody saw this today.
On the way back up again?
I hope so.
Phil Parsons, victory lane here at Charlotte. Randy Pemberton.
Well, Mark Martin climbing in his Winston Cup car already. We'll try and get just a quick word with him. Mark, I know that was a tough run for you. You would have loved to have gone to victory lane, but you got some business to take care of right now.
Yeah, we got beat, that's all. Well, those guys were just, they had us covered in the long runs. We just got beat. Only thing I was upset about was they wouldn't throw a yellow flag. There was oil all over the track, and you couldn't, it was ridiculous. I mean, that they didn't throw a yellow. Usually they'll throw a yellow when there's nothing wrong.
Okay, Mark Martin obviously upset, but he had a good run. He's climbing in the Valvoline Ford right now, and I'll tell you, folks, the Coca-Cola 600 is going to be some kind of race tomorrow, and Mark Martin is going to be one to watch.
Yeah, I'll say. What's that line about we are not responsible for the comments and so forth?
Yeah,
or the editorial opinions
that we probably think it, we just didn't say it.
That's right. Well, hey, the point standings become an interesting story, and we're going to get back to that shortly here. We'll take a quick commercial break to tell you how this race sugared off today here at Charlotte, the Champion Sparkplug 300. What a great moment for Phil Parsons.
The Champion Sparkplug 300 on TBS has been brought to you by Castrol GTX, by Napa Auto Parts, by MasterCard, by Peerless Faucet, and by Kellogg's.
Every day, we all find a way.
As we watch the celebration in victory lane, and obviously elated Phil Parsons, his wife Marcia, the car owner, they've got a lot to be proud of today as they have taken that Chevrolet to victory here in the Champion Sparkplug 300 at Charlotte Motor Speedway. Rick Benjamin back in the Bell South Pit Communications Center for you here on TBS Sports. Not the only laurels today to go to Phil Parsons and his team. The Advanced Auto Parts Pits Done Quickly Award. Our broadcast team has selected Mark Conley and his crew, the crew that puts Phil Parsons in that automobile every week, as the winner of that award. They did some great work today on pit road to get Phil Parsons back out, serviced and ready to go racing again when we came back off of caution periods all day long. Want to update you on the condition of Chad Little, the driver of the Bear Select car, the number 23, involved in that grinding crash in the first half today. A possible concussion for Chad. He's being x-rayed at the downtown hospital now. They're concerned about his shoulder, possible shoulder blade injury, collarbone broken perhaps too. We'll try to have more for you on that tomorrow here on TBS when we come on the air at 4:30 tomorrow to bring you our coverage of the Coca-Cola 600. Now, the UAW and GM are noted for their fine teamwork as they build some great automobiles at assembly plants all across North America. They've combined to present a Teamwork of Excellence award here today in the Champion Sparkplug 300. This award goes to Curtis Key, the owner and crew chief for Tommy Ellis, the Key Motorsports Chevrolet team. Tommy came from 39th on the grid today to 4th in the late stages before his engine gave up, and we want to salute, along with the UAW and GM, Curtis Key at Key Motorsports and Tommy Ellis for their great teamwork effort today. They ended up 16th in the final standings here at the Charlotte Motor Speedway. Great day of racing. We're looking for more of the same here when we get it going tomorrow afternoon. Ken Squire?
Oh, yes, that's, well, it's the 35th annual Coca-Cola 600. Take a look at the point standings here. Ricky Craven ended up 11th. He fell back a couple more spots, and so he fell right into the clutches of Kenny Wallace, and there you see it by 2 points, the lead for Wallace over Craven as they get ready to move on. There were 10 lead changes among 6 drivers today in the race here at Charlotte. 21 cars retired, that one big wreck, and let's hope that everything's fine with Chad Little. But broken shoulder blade, they say, on him. 6 cautions, 36 laps on the afternoon. Richard, I thought you, for a rookie out here, looked like 200 wins to me.
I tell you what,
at these standings.
When they started crashing like that, I'm glad I'm up here watching instead of being down there, that's for sure.
Yeah, well, you certainly were more than one of them out there. Predictions for tomorrow, Richard?
I tell you, it's going to be really, really interesting. I was watching them run some this morning, and there's so many cars running so close. It's just like qualifying. So you don't know where these people got on new tires, old tires, or whatever. So right now, I would hate to say, I'd say the 28 car is going to be the toughest one. Anybody can run with him, they're going to be right up front.
And the nicest part for me is I'm going to get to sit alongside the man I've admired the most in this game for years, Richard Petty. I hope you'll come along and join us, too, for the 600. 4:30 on the air, 5 o'clock green flag. Coming up next on TBS, Christopher Reeve stars in Superman 4, The Quest for Peace, Richard. Yay. On behalf of Dr. Dick Bergen, Randy Pemberton, Rick Benjamin, Richard Petty, I'm Ken Squire. Our congratulations go to Phil Parsons.